Amongst goblins everywhere. Hello, and welcome to the Broken World Chronicles. My name is Guy. No, it's not. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have taken over today's episode of the Broken World Chronicles. My name is Michael. You might know me as the Dead Aussie Gamer, Mutaro, and of course Flint from the Broken World Chronicles. But today our master Guy is not feeling too well, so we send him his love and our well wishes while I hijack his game. All right. So, firstly, I'm going to be going over what I have in store for our awesome players today. Because we've had so much in terms of the adventure towards Feloria and the whole story behind her and Virion, I thought it'd be kind of cool to explore her story in a bit more detail with a flashback one-shot. We're going to be taking a look in the past, casting ourselves into the world that Feloria has come from, and taking a look a little bit more at the real Virion, unlike the one that we have experienced in the latest episodes of Broken World Chronicle. So if you're not up to date, do not fret, as there will be no real spoilers in this particular episode that I will be taking you guys on. But as Guy would do, I'm going to be walking you guys through the step-by-step process of what I have planned for these guys. Now, to be honest, I've actually never GM'd these particular individuals. I've been GM'd by Freddie, and obviously I've been GM'd by Guy with Freddie and Kai in tow, but I've never actually had a chance to sit down and see what these guys are like from the other side of the table. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I think the story I've got is going to really engage them and get them really worked up towards this particular part of Feloria's life, which is ultimately the goal. For me, when I GM, I always like to set myself a objective, something that I try to strive for while I'm playing. For today, the only thing I'm trying to walk out and achieve is that you guys, the audience, and hopefully Freddie and myself will have a better understanding of the relationship Philoria has with this Virian character. I mean, it's one thing to kind of be told, oh, yes, in my backstory, I have this happen, or in my backstory, I know these people. It's an entirely different scenario to kind of see how that all works. So that's the goal for today, to see how her relationships formed who she is now. So, to begin, the synopsis for the show is that Philoria is going to be enjoying a day of celebration with her people at the birth of a new life. It is the first birth of spring, and there is a big festival that happens when this occurs. A druid, accompanied by a procession of fae, will actually arrive in the town in order to give blessings to the new life. And obviously, there's this whole hierarchy thing, like with what's the social standing when one deals with the fae that come in from the wilderness, and of course, what is the standing for you as an elf? Within Philoria's world, there's kind of this hierarchy of magic. The more magical you are, the more entitled you are to respect, to power, to authority. And so we're going to kind of be exploring that angle with this particular thing. The Fae do not care about the elf hierarchy. They don't care about magic. They're all magical. But having them interact in this kind of way will hopefully set the stage for Philoria, who is a lowborn elf, someone who does not have much in the way of magic, and watches she kind of has to deal and contend with these sorts of things. Let's just take a look now at the first checkpoint. So the first checkpoint for me is always exposition, something that kind of as quickly and as succinctly as possible goes through what's happening with the player. Normally NPCs kind of do this, like you'll arrive in a village and there'll be a mayor that'll say, well, there are wolves in the wilderness again. You need to go and take this torch and go kill that wolf, because if you don't, we will have a harsh winter and we're all superstitious around here. Right? Instead of having to worry about that sort of thing, I have Freddy. Freddy is going to be playing an NPC character who's going to act like a friend, a confidant for Philoria. So the first section of our adventure is going to be about Freddy just having a casual chat with Philoria. This is going to just hopefully build up their relationship and have a nicer understanding of this brand new character that Freddy is going to be playing, and where Philoria stands on it. I mean, it could be that they are enemies, could be that they're friends. We'll have to find out and see how they play it. But going from there, we are then thrusting them into the scenario where she will then meet up with Virian. She'll then get a chance to sort of develop some of those emotional attachments to the character before engaging in the festival. So once the exposition's done, once we've gotten through Philoria, the relationships, and how they interact, we're then going to step into the world of the major plot events. The first plot is us winding things up, getting a sense of the norm of what is going on at this festival. So I've got a whole bunch of fun and games planned in regards to what they get to do. There's some rowdies, as there always are when you have alcohol involved with elves and fairies. There's even a kind of an interesting couple of vendors that I've made that are all super magical, so the elves love attending, such as like a vendor that's got emotional soda drinks. So as you pop open a bottle of this pink liquid, the pink liquid happens to be envy. And when you drink it, you become very envious of people. There's another one called Wrath, and you drink it, and for a short period of time, you just get so angry. So, a lot of sideshow games, a lot of fun little quirky things will be in store for them as they go through this particular part of the adventure. However, all is, as in RPGs, not well. It isn't long before the group will be introduced to the idea of a danger that'll be far bigger than they can handle. With Philoria obviously still being quite in her early stages, they send off warriors and adventurers, including Virian, to go and deal with this big threat that's going to occur. So, leaving our players alone in the festival with, well, for want of a better expression, nothing really protecting them. when we find out, obviously, that something bad happens and no one's around to protect it, that's the chance for our PCs to step up, rise to the occasion, and get their first real taste of adventure. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping by the end of this, they're going to get really a good understanding of, that moment when Feloria went from realizing that, well, she can't really do much because she's a lowborn, she's a bard, and of course, getting to that position where she is now, wait, I am actually pretty strong. I can actually do these things, and start pursuing that. So that's the goal for today, at least. I'm hoping they kind of stay on track. I do have a couple of pathways that do lead in different places, but alas, poor guy has only had enough time to prepare the very brief stuff that I've got here. So yeah, that's what I have currently planned for our adventurers. What do you guys think? Do you guys have anything that you maybe like to see? Any suggestions, thoughts? Any questions I can answer? Feel free to leave it in the chat. I'll have a gander and see what I can do. The other thing I wanted to do really with this whole Virian Feloria relationship is in the previous episode of the Broken World Chronicles, there was a very strong sense of this was not Virian. This person, his behavior, his mannerisms, did not share them with the Virian that she knew. So I'm hopefully going to be able to learn and adapt while we play to reflect the Virian that she knows as well. Let's see. Hey, folks, need to have something. Well, no worries. If you are watching this later on, extra nerdy, thank you for coming for that time, and we'll definitely see you on YouTube because YouTube. Excited to see how things progress and what Freddie will have to play in this. Well, it's a very interesting one, kind of a sad one at the same time. So I'm hoping that you guys are going to really enjoy Freddie's character throughout this. We did put a little bit of work and effort into it, so yeah, that's going to be exciting. All right. Any other questions, thoughts, ideas, plannings? No? All right. Well, without any further ado, I am going to go and gather the team and thrust them into this world that I've created. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys will love everything that we're doing because I loved making it. I enjoy writing games as much as I love running them and playing them. So if you've never seen me GM before, then you're in for a treat. And we'll see you in, I think, 15 minutes? 15 minutes. So, to the holding screen. Da, 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 da. Michael? Guy is in chat with you. He can't see the character. Unless I should go to a different place, or I don't know. Everyone can do it. Hi, how you all doing? Oh, you put me into that then. I don't know. Yeah, I have the utmost comfort. I am not shaken in one bit. I've done this a million times. Yeah. I actually have. You know what? I play like half the things. Oh my god. I play like 700 games a year. And I've done that for like at least 6 years. So, hello.
I see Michael today early in the morning when I had no makeup on and jammies. How are you?
I wasn't gonna say anything, by the way.
No, it's fine. I don't care. Stop. What?
Oh yeah,
Audio is live.
I was gonna say audio is live, guys. Just FYI. I was hoping you were gonna say something embarrassing. Okay, Guy is instructing us. By the way, stream, Guy has now instructed us officially to shut the hell up, and that the audio is live, and that we can text instead. I don't know. I kind of choose not to. What do you guys think? No. Okay,
I will listen to the great GM. Goodbye, everybody.
Gowan. All right, fine. We'll talk to you guys later. and welcome to the whoa. Okay, yeah, the Super Broken World Chronicles. My name is Michael, and this is a thing. Hello.
What is happening?
I think we've been destroyed. Oh no! For the very first time on How to Be a Great GM, it appears that we have technical difficulties. So while we are attending to them, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Michael. Some of you know me as Flint. Some of you know me as the Dead Aussie Gamer, and I will be your GM for this particular. Well, we'll do another intro. Oh God, where's my hair gone? Where's my hair leaving?
I'm like over her shoulder too. Over
oh
shoulder.
God! What is happening?
Like a creeper.
So yeah, if you guys think that the Broken World Chronicles tech team is terrible when Guy is here, this is what happens when Guy goes missing. All right, cool. Hey guys, welcome. I'm gonna do one more intro. So
Let's do it again.
We'll do it again. Can we do the intro again, Guy? Can we fly the flag? Come on, give me another
flag. Mercy.
G'day guys and welcome to the Broken World Chronicles. My name is Michael and I am the Dead Aussie Gamer. You might know me as Flint or Mutaru in the Adventures of the Windswift. Today, sadly, our beloved GM and Leader-in-Chief happens to be rather unwell. He is, however, joining us live in chat and running our tech for the time being, in case you couldn't tell. And we are here with a very, very special one-shot game where I will be running my fellow companions, Freddie and Kai, through a one-shot adventure. How are we doing, guys? Oh, that way this time.
Excited and terrified and nervous.
Excited, terrified, and nervous. Yeah, that pretty much describes most of my games.
I just realized.
That's pretty much all my emotions at once.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, things are backwards today, so now you're over that way, because normally Guy's over that way. And
exactly.
And Warren's over that way.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not Guy. What is this?
I've been lied to, and I feel betrayed.
Guy 2.0. All right, guys. So I've got a very special game for you guys, and if you guys are ready, we are going to be starting this adventure, casting our minds backwards, many, many years now from where we last saw ourselves in the Broken World Chronicles, to a very special and unique dimension. This one, of course, belonging to the lovely Feloria. It is a world where elves seem to be these rather, I suppose, ignoble creatures. The ones who have kind of this very inherent understanding and love of magic, so much so that their entire system thrives off whether or not you can indeed use and wield magic, and to what degree. We see ourselves in a small forest. No, we don't. We see ourselves as giant blocks of text. Howdy doody. All right.
I'm an M.
We're an M. All right. Okay. We see. Oh, we got maps. We got maps now.
Maps.
Mappity maps.
Ba-da.
Are we good? We good?
This is the night fair.
This is a night fair. There we go. Okay. Well, we're not in this map yet, so this map.
I was about to say, I'm like, are we not the other place?
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Starting at the end of the story, and we're gonna work our way. What happened in that day, like one of those mystery shows.
Yeah, it is. all of a sudden, Freddy's character is hanging on to Feloria, who's bleeding out. No.
Earlier that day.
I did it again.
Okay. All right. Now we're good. So let's start.
Okay.
Let's start this well. The sun is setting low over the Kellenbor Mountains. As a cold westbound wind moves through the lowlands, the smell of the forest carries far and wide in the elven lands. It is the first day of spring, and this day has come to an end. The sound of a hitting wood as birds scatter from the tree line we come in on a scene of a young Feloria dressed in sort of normal attire, not kind of your usual adventuring leathers and shields and gear and adventuring garbs, but more of a simple, humble wear. She carries with her a bow, and she seems to be practicing her archery in the company of a friend, Warren. I mean, not Warren. What am I saying, Warren? Freddie.
How did I get here? Help!
You,
Who are you? Help me!
Freddie, would you be so kind as to tell us your character's name and a bit of a description about this particular character?
My name is Sinel. I am an elf of apparently lower born, but I don't really care. I think most of our leaders are really idiots, and I only admire and respect those that, that's not an idiot. I have kind of short brown hair that looks like it's been burned a couple of times, with some pointed ears, but another part of it is a couple of rips and tears from some experimentations I've had. While one of my hands is spotted and looks like part of a leopard, and I dabble in a lot of things. Besides,
All right.
I don't really agree with the whole high or low born. I appreciate people as they are, and if they're an asshole, I will tell them that they are an asshole. Gloria, you gotta be careful not to hit the wildlife. You know, the fairies will get angry again.
I'm not trying to hit the wildlife, and I'm getting closer to the bullseye.
Then why are you missing?
Why do you have another tear in your ear?
Touche.
Let's just keep practicing, shall we?
Feloria takes up her bow and pulls back on the drawstring. As you kind of hear the sound of the wood creaking, she sort of holds her arm as steady as she can, really kind of forcing her muscles to tense up as she lets loose an arrow. Could you make an attack action for me, please?
Of course. Do you want me to just do a strength or a dex roll, considering I have bonuses now?
Yeah, just a dex roll, if you would.
Okay. Oh no!
Once again, the arrow flies loose, landing in a pile of bushes. You hear the sounds of some mammalian creature sort of scuttling away, disturbed from its burrow by the sound of your arrow colliding into its house.
Sorry! Well, at least I missed it.
Definitely does not sound like a bullseye.
As the sun slowly begins to set, you kind of look up and you can see the new moon. It actually seems quite beautiful and looks like a pearl hanging in the sky. The low light that illuminates from it seems to, for many humans, would make it harder to see around, but creates a wondrous sense of twilight for the elven people. There is almost like a new life being breathed into the forest around this time of day.
Do you think we'll see fireflies soon? This spring here?
Well, possibly. This is about the correct season that they'd be coming out. It might be nice to capture a couple of fireflies and squeeze them into a couple of these beakers.
Be nice just to watch them light up the skies.
Gloria, you seemed distracted today. You're not usually that terrible at archery. What's in your mind, kiddo?
Nothing terrible. I think I'm more excited for the festival than anything, aren't you? New life, you know?
Oh yes, loud noises from all of those nobles and beer drinkers and wine connoisseurs and those contests of pie eating and
the songs and the bards and the stories and the children laughing. I think it'll be fun.
Distracting from my experiments. If anything, it's nice to at least see you smile. It's a nice change of pace.
I smile a lot.
Yes, but is it a true smile? And like he kind of like turns your direction to you, just like.
I give him like the worst smile ever, like ah ha ha.
Floria looks at your character with this kind of almost manic grin. You try. Can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Which one of us?
I want to say I remembered your name, but I completely forgot it again.
Cyanel.
Cyanel.
Is that there? It is.
Oh my God, that's the second 2 today. We're up to a great start.
Great start. All right, Cyanel, as you look at her manic face, you try very hard, but your stony demeanor seems to crack ever so slightly at the sight of this ridiculous elf pulling faces at you.
I did it! Yes!
All right.
That's
Taking her bow again, she aims, this time looking at what appears to be a small hanging bulb from one of the trees. These bulbs, when they are struck, actually open up and bloom into like kind of these spinning leaves, that land
like keys on a maple tree.
Yes, exactly. Very similar to that. And you take aim, hoping to strike at it. Could you make me another dexterity check, please?
Sure. Yeah. Hey, do better.
All right. This time, as you pull back, your muscles seem a little less tense. You fire, and as it does so, it is just about to hit the bulb when suddenly a hand reaches out and snatches the arrow.
Huh?
Looking in front of you, you see a striking tall figure, an elven person wearing the garbs of an adventurer. This person in front of you is Virion.
Vir, you're back! I sprint over.
And there it is.
As you sprint over, he sort of gently places a hand on the top of your head and says, "It's good to see you, my songbird. Have you been practicing?"
Clearly, or else I'm going to hit you.
Indeed.
I just supposed to approach from the sides, or else I might actually get you.
He sort of smiles softly and looks over and says, "Cyanel, it's unusual to see you this far away from the village."
I dragged him out here. I thought the fresh air would do him good.
Yes, well, there's your opinion and there's mine.
Have you perished?
Not yet. Good to see you, Virion. How's your other, noble work?
Well, the work has been trying, but it has given me plenty of chances to learn more about the outside world.
Where were you this time?
Well, he sort of takes the arrow that he now has in his hand and sort of crouches down. And as he does, he uses the tip of the arrow and he begins to draw what appears to be a boat on a small flowing river. He says, "We ended up winding north. The bridge that would have taken us to the Elven's northern quarters was out, so we needed to get upon a barge. Taking the humans there was quite difficult. They are not built for the water, I imagine, as half of them ended up feeding the fishes along the way."
They died?
No, simply, no matter. They were just unwell, let's say that.
Oh.
But as we proceeded down this rather gentle and beautiful stream, we attracted the attention of two very beautiful looking water sprites. And he then draws like their figures dancing over the water. It looked as though they were skating on fields of ice towards following us like they were in play.
Do you think there'll be any here tonight? With
Well,
the festival and all?
Well, I'd be surprised if they weren't. The fairies do like to make a show of things, and maybe you'll get to see one for yourself today.
I hope to.
Cyanel gets up and walks over and just like,
Oh, yes, get to see the almighty sage. Once again, another person of respect. It's still interesting how a lower-born could get up there. It just proves that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters on your tenacity.
I hear it's different in the human lands, where it runs very similar to what you would like. Maybe you should visit them. You're getting of age to go travel.
Yes, but that's away from my laboratory. But maybe I can have a new shop somewhere. I can teach them some things. Ooh, could actually be funded. Not a bad thought. I'll think about it in another 50 years.
Virion sort of chuckles under his breath and stands, placing a hand firmly on Sionel's shoulder. As he does, he says, "Well, when that day comes, friend, I will be sure to take you safely across the Elven lands and set you up myself."
Indeed.
As you all
No
sort
touch.
of smile and laugh within the moonlight, the sound of a trumpeting fanfare can be heard in the distance. To you all, it signals the arrival of guests to the town of Lutharan, the place where you had grown up.
I guess it's time to get going.
Riveting.
So excited.
As you make your way through the forest, heading to the south, you can see over the rolling hills out into the countryside a parade of scintillating colors glowing and illuminating the night. It seems to be winding its way like a rainbow serpent towards your small town. All manner of fairies and fae, small and large, appear to be heralding a procession of tapestries and magical moats. This you know to be the herald of the Sage of the Great Oak, an elven figure granted power to protect the land and the forests. As you look out on it, you're not quite there yet. You're still on the hill.
Never mind then.
Oh yeah, as you're on the hill, Virion stops for a moment. Again, you all still having these soft, warm smiles, and you stop for a moment and you pause and you realize that the procession is making its way to the city, and you're quite a way away, and you are most certainly going to be late.
Great. Is there a shortcut to get back to the city?
Well, if you wish to, all of you may make me a survival check to attempt to see if you know the local forest to find a path.
I know someone who will.
Virion seems to have a bead of sweat dripping down his forehead as he thinks about what his mother will do if he is late to this festival.
Oh no, it'll be all right.
I don't know if I have that skill. Nope. Well, let's just roll good old wisdom, huh? That's the save. That's not correct. There you go.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. Well,
You're doing well.
Well, while Virion is very skilled and capable traveling around and exploring the lands, sadly, the local forests, the ins and outs and the shortcuts aren't yet well known to him. But you guys had actually managed to find a very small, abandoned tunnel that led beneath the knothole tree and led straight into the lower region where your poor little town happens to be situated. Following through it, you manage to get there as the procession arrives. You find yourselves at the back of this large and vibrant carnival-like marketplace. The night markets are in full swing, with elven sort of tapestries lying around the place, lanterns being strung up, and giving this whole area like a very beautiful blue turquoise kind of it almost feels like you're underwater with like light shining down upon your entire town.
It's gorgeous. I haven't seen this town lit up like this since last year.
I kind of poke Vera in the back a little bit, just like, seems you could learn a thing or two from her, huh?
Virion sort of chuckles and says, "Yeah, we are only really just finding out what we're all capable of, aren't we?"
No, I'm pretty good.
So, any tales from when you were traveling? She keeps wandering into the market.
As you wander into the market, you can see that there's a large crowd now gathered around the procession. Virion goes to answer you, but then stops abruptly as he can now see at the front of the crowd of elves that gather in the center of the market is a rather tall, matronly-looking elf. Her hair is silver and stark, with a sort of a thin strip of almost a glowing blue light. She stands there in regal white attire with golden trim. Adjacent to her, of course, are a newlywed couple, you know. This is Virion's family. His mother, the matron, and of course his brother and sister-in-law. Holding into her arm, the sister-in-law, a woman by the name of Lyra, seems to be holding a newborn infant elf. As you approach, Virion tries to be quiet and tries to make his way over to his family. He looks to you and says, I really need to go. We'll talk in a minute.
Of course, and I'll let my hand, like the back of my hand, brush his, because I know this close to his family, we're not allowed to hold hands or even be close to each other. So I'll just kind of brush my hand in the back of his and then just nod. I'll catch you later.
As soon as you do that, the nervousness that seems to be in Virion sort of almost fades away, flowing out of his hand. He sort of smiles, and as he does so, you can see this boisterous-looking elf, short-cut hair, very spiky, seeming to kind of emerge from behind one of the nearby barrels. It's almost like he kind of stumbled out to try and get a better view, but he can't really see anything. In his hand, he's got like a big drumstick of chicken. As he kind of looks around, you can tell he's what we call a humanized elf. He's definitely spent way too much time out and among the human travelers. You know this as Salvador. Salvador is Virion's ranger.
Best friend, right?
His best friend, partner. He sort of looks at you all three. He looks at Feloria especially and sort of raises and cocks one eyebrow as he looks to Virion and goes, couldn't wait, could you? Your mom's gonna be so mad.
Don't you say a word.
I've gonna fine. Go.
If you keep quiet, I'll give you a snack later, okay?
I hate how everyone has this society. There's so much fear-mongering, it's almost sickening. You shouldn't be afraid to be able to show your emotions. I mean, look at me. I don't hide with any veils of subtlety whatsoever. I'm happy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've never seen you be subtle once in your life.
That's right.
Hey, speaking of not subtle, you guys want to get a better view? There's if you look over there, we can probably climb up on that tent, get up onto the roof. I mean,
sure.
It's better than being here in the nosebleeds.
No, I want to get a better view of all the Fae. I haven't seen them since last year.
Don't look them in the eyes.
Why?
Because they're hypnotizing. Besides, it's sometimes they can be playful, or sometimes it's a manner of respect, and sometimes you look them too far in the eyes, and they'll want to take you away to bright and sunny lands. So, caution. No, I just read a lot of books.
At this point, Salvador sort of picks up like a handful of these very thick, ripe grapes and places it in Sionel's hand.
Sionel, do you have a favorite treat? Maybe we can find out before we get a better seat.
He sort of nods at you like take the treats and relax. You know, this is a festival. Enjoy yourself. Come on.
I am relaxed.
Oh, good God. I think he is.
Is he? I'm not sure. I poke him. It's either lack of muscle or he's relaxed.
Salvador and Feloria start poking you on either side. Like they start circling around you, just like jabbing you in the side and in the shoulders. It's like,
See, I'm a very playful person at heart, so it's hard to be like, stop it.
Philoria looks at CNL, and CNL looks at Philoria. CNL says, it's like poking a gargoyle.
Or a very angry rat. Did you see the gargoyle, have you?
This is more of a your thing. Just kind of like head over to Floria. Like, why don't you take these?
Come on. It only happens once a year. And maybe you can find some really good ancient tomes. There's so many stalls. Find some old musty books.
Wait, lead. That, why bury the lead? Why did you bury the lead? I must see this. I am ecstatic.
Only if you come with us up on the roof. We'll get a better view of where it could possibly be. If you don't break your neck.
No, I won't let myself do that.
Let's go.
All right. Could you guys make me an athletics check as you begin to make your way towards the northern part, climbing and sort of shimmying across the top of the tent?
Yes.
Floria, you make it onto the little ledge that is by the window to the feasting hall. Just a little to the north and to the left. Yep, there we go.
Actually, I think I might cheat and cast a spell.
You can cast a spell if you'd like.
I'm trying to look for. I don't know if any of this stuff will help, so that's why. How long does that last? It's up to an hour. Sure. I'm gonna cast Alter Self, and I'm going to grow spikes all over my arms and just stab into the woodwork. I don't care as I climb up.
No, the woodwork's beautiful.
And now it is useful. Congrats.
It's mahogany.
As you watch these deep scars suddenly appear into this into this ancient woodwork, you climb up and you both sit down. You can now see over the crowd, and you can see past the elven fountain and towards the front, where there is a large procession of fairies leading what appears to be a large palanquin. Stepping out from this is what appears to be a large robed individual, seeming to be covered in multicolored feathers and vines and leaves. On their face, they wear a wooden mask that seems to bear the visage of some kind of bull or bison. You can't really tell. It's kind of like a magical type of mask. And carrying in their hand is a gnarled oak staff. He speaks, but when he does so, it's not as if you hear the voice coming from the mask, but it almost seems to come from the winds around. We, the people of the forest, and I, as the sage of the great oak, warmly thank you for your hospitality, Lady Yolanda. The people of the elven tribes have been good friends to the folk of the forest, and we are here to offer our thanks and our blessings. The new life that has been given in this, the season of life, shall be blessed and nurtured by the forest. Lady Lyra, Master Belnoanan, your child will be loved by the fairy folk, and will always be welcome in the woods as a home not too unlike the home that you belong. Today is a day of festivities, and one that we encourage celebration of life, celebration of love that bore life, and of course, celebration of a long and true friendship. As he says this, there's kind of like a sort of a clapping from the fairies and very, very reserved from the elves. As the matronly figure steps forward and says, yes, well, we, of course, graciously accept the presence of the Fey kind, and of course yourself as well, great sage. May yourselves and your people enjoy the festivities I've gone to expeditious lengths to prepare on such short notice. But as you'll see, we have spared no expense to honor our guests. And she sort of claps her hands once more. In the center of the procession, of elves, bards begin to play music, and the whole courtyard begins to fill with the sounds of excitement. The fairies begin to flit around, almost like they're dancing among the lights, dancing to the music. The old sage kind of looks up in awe as like the fairies begin to make themselves comfortable. Some sort of move over and begin to explore some of the food stalls. You can see a large stand where there's like a mountain of pies. These are elderflower and blackcurrant pies that have been made by one of the finest elven bakers in the elven kingdoms. And you can definitely see that there are a couple of fairies who have dove straight into these pies and have just like sort of eating berries the size of their heads. The elves then also begin to enjoy the festivities while the procession of Virian's family remains kind of at attention speaking with the sage. At this point, you can kind of see behind you Salvador and what appears to be a small dog appear to be trying to break into the window that you guys are sitting next to.
What are you guys doing?
What are you doing?
Why are you breaking into a window?
This is where they've got the wild boar. He sort of...
Leave the wild boar alone. It's not anything. No, hey, stop. No. So I start wrestling him.
He sort of, you start wrestling him. The dog sort of sits there wagging its tail. Could you
Do I
make me
know
an
the
athletic...
dog's name?
Yes, the dog's name is... The dog's name is... My Dear.
My dear?
Yeah, My Dear. MYDYR.
Midoriya, stop him!
My darling love, stop this.
All right, so your athletics check is an 18. You basically grab hold of Salvador, despite him being quite a stout adventurer. Both of you tumble and fall off the little platform you're on.
I'm just trying to ignore them and I'm still looking for those tomes, man. I'm just like, where are the books? She talked about.
I call my dear over to come lick his master's face. Like, come here, my dear, get him.
As you're sort of rolling around on the ground, he goes, no, Flora, stop. Yeah, no, don't help her. As you're sort of rolling around, he sort of says, okay, I give.
Good.
He sort of stands up, sort of dusts himself
So why are you
off.
trying to get in with the wild boar? That's a stupid idea.
It's for eating. I was trying to get there before the everyone sits around and does that whole ew, the fork on the left, my dear. You don't eat wild boar with a dessert spoon. Ugh, I can't stand it.
Why don't you just go catch your own boar and cook however you want and eat it? Isn't that what you do?
He sort of looks at it and says, well, maybe I will.
Oh, well, maybe you should.
Well, maybe you should enjoy the festivities while I go and do that.
Maybe I will.
All right, then.
Fine. Are we having a real fight, or is this a friend thing?
I think it's a friend thing. So
Oh,
God, shut up! You're so loud.
Sonel, while you were on top of the platform, can you make me a perception check, please?
Oh, thank God. See, this is poopy. I only got like 2 skills.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Hashtag NPC life.
Yeah.
10. Okay. With that, you can see at a nearby cart, there appear to be some doves kind of in a cage on top of this kind of strange, almost alchemical device. There you can see a small kind of, well, it's an elf, but it's kind of like a short elf. You can tell this is one of the ones from your academy who doesn't really go too well because, well, rather than magic, he believes in something he calls science or something. And everyone's basically written him off as a lowborn, so no one really talks to him. He appears to be setting up a small stall with these copper canisters. They look like they're dwarfen in make or something like that. But more importantly, you can definitely see some magical reagents being poured into a large vat. and him pouring through large notebooks as he seems to be getting ready for something. Make an athletics check as you leap onto the canvas of the tent below.
Oh God!
All right.
I hop down beside him.
You're on the other side of the tent, but you sort of see him sort of try to jump off. But if you've ever seen like a child trying to use a diving board, you know, their sort of feet goes in first, and then they sort of crawl over the edge, and they sort of hang on to the ledge, and then they fall, and then they fall. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what's just happened to poor Sienna.
I would come crouch down beside him, like, you okay?
Yes.
That was really graceful.
Yep.
Here, I'll help him up.
Oh, stop it. I'm pointy right now. It's like I still have like claws.
Yeah. As you sort of reach down
I thought you made your personality.
Yes. You know, I'll have horns instead. And like I'll switch her from my hands to like just like have like a couple of big old like ram horns just for funsies. Just
Ooh, now you look like a tiefling.
As you get to, as Feloria helps you get to your feet, you can see that this elf has finished his cart preparations, and he seems to sort of hold up a sign which says it's kind of like a hyphenated elven word, meaning so, as in to build or to create, and da, meaning beverage of some kind.
Oh.
You. Books. You got books?
Yes, of course. You know that. We went to Wizard College together. I sat in the back.
Are you selling books?
Well, no. CNL, we've been over this. This is my experiment. This is the alchemistry thing that I was doing. Never
I know,
mind.
but I was looking for something important. What are you doing now? Is this juice again?
It's not juice. It's not juice. It is a special alchemical elixir that is delightfully refreshing. It is emotional soda, as I like to call it.
How is this soda emotional? Does it cry as you drink it?
Well, it's not so simple. Yes, that is pretty astute observation, Feloria. It was just the better part of my last 50 years preparing this recipe.
I'm teasing you. I don't mean anything by it.
You know, he's tried to slip
right.
so many of these different concoctions into my morning tea. I still don't forgive you for that nonsense.
Why? What happened?
Feel.
Apparently, my concoction doesn't help the emotionless. So,
what did he do to you?
He did the worst possible thing that could ever be done to me. He made me smile.
I did that just 5 minutes ago.
Well, that's why you're not Cinders. I appreciate you as another person of highly intellectual prowess.
Oh.
Well,
So have you perfected your concoctions?
I have. Yes. I have perfected my thing that you've said. Yep.
I'll help you buy a book today if you drink one.
Oh yes, go on, please.
I will rock, paper, scissors you to get you to drink one. Oh, come on. If I fail, I'll drink one.
An expensive book, and I'll do it.
A medium-wage book.
It has to be risky and have odd pictures.
Can I draw those in?
Deal.
All right, rock, paper, scissors it is. I want you guys to actually do it. Go on.
All right.
Oh, I was just going to pay him, but okay.
Okay, yeah, do it. Do it, pay him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to drink one.
Okay, well, how about we, I I've got this one here, which is called the Seven Sins. It's kind of like a potluck. Oh my god. I wouldn't have drunk the whole thing, but okay. Roll it.
7 sins?
Could you roll a D8, please?
Absolutely.
Good luck.
No. 4. Does that make him laugh?
Okay, you feel incredibly hungry. Like, I mean, like you just want to consume a whole, like you basically want to find the nearest apple tree and strip it entirely of apples and eat them, core and all. Oh dear.
You have poisoned me.
I was told he'd be smiling. What did you do? What's wrong with him? Are you okay?
I just immediately leave. I look for like the nearest like cake cart, anything, any food items.
All right. As you look around,
you can pie cart.
You can see a mountain of pies in a nearby cart. A huge.
I don't care if you're yelling at me. I'm just taking them. I'm eating them, and I'm just putting a gold sack right on the counter. I'm just going in.
As you do so, you basically rush over to this cart nearby, filled with pie, and there's this very angry looking elven woman who says, "Hey, those are for the contest. What are you doing?"
There's a contest?
Gold
I think
sack.
we win it. Let's do it right now.
All right. As you do so, Feloria, make a perception check for me, please.
Sure. Where's my skills?
I'm so glad it wasn't lunch.
Natural 20! Pew, pew, pew!
With a natural 20, as he takes the latest.
I'm glad you didn't drink lust, because could you?
I know that's what I'm worried about. I'm just like I don't want that.
Just streaks through this. As he grabs this large pie, he's almost unlocked his jaw so that he can fit it in his mouth. As he does so, you can see screaming inside the pie. One of the fairies is trying to push against the pie crust. What do you do?
I tackle him.
You tackle him? Okay.
Yeah.
Roll an opposed athletics check as you tackle poor CNL.
Oh my god, we rolled the same thing! At least I have a plus.
All right. As he tries to put this pie in his mouth, all of a sudden, Feloria, head down, shoulder into the sternum, boom! Knocks him to the ground. The pie falls to the ground.
I said, don't eat the fairies!
You kind of feel... At this point, CNL, you feel that hunger sort of slowly dissipating. You then burp. You feel much better.
You okay?
Oh my god, I will never drink anything you prescribe again!
Hear him!
I'm just over the shoulder, like back to the cart.
As you cry over to the shoulder, looking back towards the cart, the elf that gave you that bottle is nowhere to be seen. There is, however, a new sign that says closed temporarily.
I will find him. I will not forget this.
All right. The commotion.
Oh my God. Can we prank him later?
You probably could.
Yeah.
What type of prank would you like to do?
The first time you see like a legitimate, just like.
Smile.
I want to set something on fire.
Well, as soon as you kind of sit back, expressing that with all the pie on your face and covering the front of your shirt,
it's like an evil smile through pie.
just this god awful. I will kill him.
I take like a nearby tablecloth and I kind of take it off the table and I kind of just put it over his head.
There's a small like little checkered handkerchief type thing that's underneath the pies. Sort of whips it up, puts it over your head. As you do so, you hear some sounds of breaking bottles coming from a nearby pile of crates. It's just behind where you happen to be.
Okay, I'll go investigate that.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, we're on the map. As you approach, you can see that there are 3 very short creatures with red hats, thin white beards, and they appear completely drunk.
Are they gnomes? Are they
They
garden gnomes?
They very much look like garden gnomes, and they appear to be singing a little song as they kind of hold each other and sway by what appears to be a large crate of open and broken elven wine bottles. Now, these are kind of like the really good stuff that they seem to have gotten into.
Are
as
they
sort
allowed
of
to
sway.
get into it?
Oh God, no! And they're
God.
basically singing "En Marouche, Marouche, En Marouche Vinya, En Marouche Vinya, Doldado Calle."
I would go up and like, what does that mean?
It means mind own business, tall, stupid woman. And you see 2 of them start cackling. He calls you stupid. You're stupid. He pushes him. The other one turns and says, we see you big elves walk around. Hey, guess what I am, lady? I'm going to stomp around and turn wood into things and point them at people.
I immediately cast prestidigitation, like of big old bright lights right in front of the face. Just. Oh no, big stupid elf made you go blind. Now shoo, little man. And just kind of nudge him.
At this point, as you kind of nudge one, he's sort of like, hey, listen, this is place for tiny...
I can't... That's...
I think I would start trying to sing the song they just sang in a way. And start humming it.
Make a performance check.
All right. I'm gonna learn their song.
I think Floria and Sarah are like pure opposites.
I know, that's why I like it.
Positive sunshine, and then just like this gloomy.
I don't know, my map's so big, it's taking up my rolling spot. Hang on, my map's too big, I can't roll.
Oh my God.
No, it's performance.
I think Greem and Serena would have actually gotten along pretty well.
23!
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. All right. So you begin to hum along to the song. The two ones that are sitting next to the crate sort of look at you and raise one of the bottles that are half drunk and go, hey, this one is good. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Not stupid elf, right? So what's the words mean?
Yeah. They basically tell you it means something about a person's ex-wife falling in love with someone, and that someone turned out to be a donkey, and now she's a donkey lover. It's a quite a crass song. I
will never sing it again.
It's the fairy equivalent of a limerick, basically. However, the elf, the little gnomish type thing that Sionel seems to have insulted, sort of pulls off his hat and says, "I show you what," and he sort of pulls out what appears to be a long scythe. And I mean, it's crazy because it looks like kind of those magic hats, like you just sort of...
The magic, it's like a bag of holding, but a hat.
Yeah, exactly. He puts the hat back on, he goes, you try this magic thing again? Huh?
Oh, I'm
Do you know who I am? I
kind of want to pick up his hat and just like, what else you got in there?
Okay, we're going to, as you reach over to grab the hat, the two that are next to you go, and Pike looks at you guys and goes, that's it! And we're going to roll initiative as...
Oh, we're getting into a no fight!
Let's do it.
I rolled an 18. Am I adding my dex?
You are adding your Yes.
I'm like making straight rolls because I don't know what I'm supposed to add because I have all these bonuses now. So it'd be a 21 to go.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that'll do all right. Okay. So,
But guy,
the
roll
other...
for initiative.
All right. So the other two seem to just sort of be leaning back and sitting and not really doing anything. The one that is, however, like really engaged with you, super angry, especially at Sayanel. He turns his attention straight to him and tries to land a solid kick as he just raises this tiny little jingling boot and puts it into his kneecap. So as a bonus action, the kicked creature, being of course CNL, must make me a DC 15 strength save.
Okay. Let's see, a save. This'll be good. Told you.
Oh, natural 20. As he tries to put his foot into your knee, you gracefully step aside, and he puts his foot through the spokes of the wheel of that pie shop carriage. His foot then gets lodged in, and he sort of looks at it and he goes, "Good, damn it! Let me go! I will get you! You just wait there, you stupids!" And he pulls, and he spends the rest of his action getting his foot free.
Okay.
Okay, Floria, it is now your turn. This is the sight you see.
So I would walk over and get down to eye level with him. Like I would kind of crouch down and be like, this is a festivity for peace and harmony between both our peoples. I know you're a little drunk and a little mad, and he's really prickly and very hard to become friends with. But why don't we just have another drink and move on with our day and celebrate? There's no need to be this angry.
All right, roll a diplomacy check.
Yeah. I mean, it could be persuasion or something like that.
Persuasion, that's the one.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yay, thanks, Freddy.
Oh, no! I rolled horribly.
He basically goes, "Tui, you elves, you always think we can talk things out or things will be peaceful. You even thinks that we are drunks. We aren't drunks that just can be drinking and forgiving things. I'm drunk now, but that's not the point." Sayanel.
What is the point?
Points is Ristekpa.
Let's see. Well, I have my horns going. I'm just gonna give them a very friendly nudge in front of me. Like actually, I'm gonna grab his shoulders, like give him like a little headbutt, be like, "You need to wake up."
All right. As you lean your head back and bring it forward, the crown of your head meets his forehead. Roll your attack if you would.
Let's see. So it says this says you have a +1 to attack and damage rolls, and I deal a D6. So I guess just a D20 with the. Can I do a +1? Can I? Oh, here we go. Stop it. I wanted 1. There it is. Now this is attack roll on
That sound.
red cap right in front of me. There it is.
People are following me and it's coming up on our stream.
It didn't do it. I guess here. Did it do it?
There we go. Yep, that's it. 5. All right. So as you headbutt him, you realize very swiftly that his head is, well, pretty hard. As you.
That's impressive.
And he goes, "Ha! Lucky's for me. Red cap mothers like dropping children, make them strong, not like you soft-head elves with your tiefling horns, spending all time pretending to be something you're not, like classy, like me." Okay.
I don't know what channel that's coming from. How do I make it stop?
I don't either.
Okay, stream have alerts off.
Kai's freaking out. But thank you. Thank you
Anyone
to
know
whoever is following Kai. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I had one follow and now it just won't stop. I think I might have fixed it. I turned off all my alerts. Okay, I turned off all my alerts.
Okay.
Oh, no one else hears it. Oh, okay. All I can hear is my alerts for someone following me. I'm like, oh, it's gonna show up on the stream.
No, we can't hear it, but we could see it. That was the.
Oh no, that was me trying to make it stop because I was like, I am really glad someone followed me, but I can't make the sound stop.
Well, no, we couldn't hear that. All right.
Okay.
So,
sorry.
Sayanil, you've done your standard action or your first action to smack him in the head. Do you have anything else you want to do?
No. Well, okay. I'll can I spend a bonus action to like? Probably not, but like just I just want to tell him off.
No, absolutely, totally. Tell him off. Give him what?
Just be like, you don't understand. I'm actually myself every day. I'm just a ginormous dick. Just go away, tiny man. I'm trying to be polite. Go. Shoo shoo.
Go for a convince check with a disadvantage.
Oh, I didn't expect that. Let's see. Again, I don't have persuasion, so
you can roll really high. I believe in you.
I've got an awesome persuasion. Let's do it. There we go. Hey, it's pretty good.
That's a 6. Yeah, he goes, oh yes, no worries. I can see you are big male appendage, but don't worry. I will help shave some of that girth off you. He swings with his... Oh, he doesn't have... Oh, they don't have... yeah, no, here we go. Plus 8 to hit. Redcap tries to make a weapon attack with his melee weapon as he swings and swifts at CNL. Because you obviously can see his foot still kind of jammed, as he sort of swings, you lean backwards, and the tip of the blade just sort of whizzes past you.
Okay. There was something I need to double check, because it doesn't really say on here. I'm trying to find, like, what my spell DC is. We'll figure that out in a second. Just go ahead.
Yep.
It's proficiency plus your plus.
That's the thing.
It's proficiency plus your whatever your modifier is.
Right. It just it doesn't really have it on here.
That's fine. You can look it up before we get to your turn again. All right. We then go to Philoria. You can see the other red caps are starting to go, pike.
Is there a bottle anywhere, like a bottle of beer or something, or a wine bottle?
You can see that there are obviously the big crates of wine right next to where you are.
I take a bottle and bash it over his head so he just knock him out.
Okay, roll your attack as you grab a hold of the nearest bottle, which happens to be, again, some of this very aged elven wine, and you swing it down, trying to clop this poor redcap.
Oh no, natural 20!
Oh, what? No.
Natural 20! Oh, he's going for a nap!
Okay. He's going to make a fortitude save. He's going to make a constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
If we can do that.
Against my natural 20, just to see if he stays awake?
Oh no, he gets to make it. Well, yeah, that's basically to see if he remains conscious, because he's drunk as well as getting quite heavily brained.
Was he disadvantaged since he's drunk?
Well, no, he's at a disadvantage on his constitution saving throw.
Nice. Good luck, buddy.
All right, here we go.
Oh, no. Jeez.
What? What'd he roll?
I don't know. I didn't see what he rolled.
It's 12.
A 12. Oh, yeah, no, he goes down like a light. As you sort of smash the bottle on his head, he falls forward to the ground with a very sudden and very abrupt and he's lying. He lies face down in a small dirty puddle. As you sort of hold the broken bottle, the other two look at you and
I want to loot his hat. I want to loot the hat.
All right. As you take, okay, you take the hat and you sort of rattle around in it. You find about 5 gold, maybe about
I don't need for gold.
You rattle around it. You rattle around in it a bit more, and you find what appears to be a whistle, like a tin whistle.
Okay,
and,
I'll take the whistle.
And a little more, and you find what appears to be a bone fetish, kind of like a dream catcher, but with like bird bone stuff like that.
Ooh, gimme!
I thought that was something else when you said that. I was like, oh,
Gimme.
that's disturbing.
Gimme.
Sure, I'll give that to you, and I'll be like, do you need a wizard hat? I got you a wizard hat. You can store all your stuff in it. Like your books. You would never have to worry about books.
Wait, pretty lady.
Oh my god.
Pretty lady, listen, I know my friend, he is drunk, he's stupid, but listen, you cannot take Redcap head from Redcap. He will die.
He will die? Why?
Yeah, stupid curse put on by Fairy Queen. Fairy Queen did not like us. We may have been maybe a little angry at, things. So she cursed us, say, must wear red stupid hat all time. If not, we die.
Is he gonna die because I took it off now?
No, he's got a little time. But he's on clock,
Oh, I put it back on him.
No.
Okay.
They sort of
tempting.
You got your bone fetish thing.
But they attacked. Well,
And
you better not come around here again.
Oh no, we will make sure he learned lesson. They tilt
next
his
time
head.
I send you to the water plane, and you will drown and be attacked by the giant leviathan that lives there.
Have a great time at the festival, guys. Have fun.
All three of them sort of stop frozen, and they sort of look at CNL, and they're like,
I'm like, he's funny guy, right?
And they sort of grab their friend by the armpits and sort of drag him off because they're not sure if he's joking or not.
Bye, have a good night.
And one of them sort of turns back to Florian and says, "You too." The other one sort of slaps him at the back of the head as they drag their friend away.
I look at CNL and I'm like, I like them.
You make friends easily.
All right.
Can you imagine being cursed or being a little prickly? You'd be so cursed. You would have so many curses. There'd be so many things wrong with you.
I already am. It's called living.
Oh!
In the center of town, by the fountain, the matronly woman, elf, stands up with what appears to be a crystal glass. Instead of tapping it with a spoon like you do when you have a toast, she simply waves her hand over the top of this glass, and a small bead of light, embedded into a small droplet of light, sort of whistles around the top, making this ringing noise, like this perfectly pitched, B minor.
I'll hum along with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests of the Highborn, we would now like to invite everyone who wishes to wish well upon my son and grandson in this, a beautiful and luminous night. At this point, from behind her, Balin Anon sort of steps forward with his wife, Lyri, and they sort of sit in front of the very proud, sort of clucking mother hen type matron woman. Slowly but surely, you can see people one by one sort of going and talking to them and sort of congratulating them and moving off. You can also see Virion standing behind this. You can see everyone's kind of excited. Everyone's kind of really getting involved and, talking to the couple. But Virion seems to kind of be off to the side, trying to be the dutiful son, standing at attention, very strict and serious. And every time he sort of laxes and smiles at something one of the guests have said, the mother sort of turns to him and scowls, and he sort of straightens up again. He just sort of tries to remain as composed as he can.
I kind of like nudge. What's up my brain? Floria.
I nudge Ward in another dimension.
Like, something did occur to me. Why don't you two just run away? I know you like things here, but think about it. I'm not that much of a fan with just how they do things here, but you two could be happy.
I think that I can maybe change her mind. I think he would miss his brother. He loves them very dearly. I think he would miss his home here, his life, the people he travels with. Like, I want to travel the world, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's nice to have a home to go back to, you know?
I guess I would miss my beakers and books as well.
Plus, then I'd never get to see you and laugh at your scowly face.
What's wrong with my face?
Nothing, that's why I stick around.
There's like a very, very tiny bit of a blush. It's like, sorry, these horns are making me itchy.
Like, get rid of them, can't you?
Yeah, just dispels us.
As they crawl back into your skull. All right. What do you guys wish to do now? There's still plenty of the festivity to look at. You can make your way towards the
Can I catch Virian's eye at all?
Absolutely. Making your way towards, closer towards the fountain, you sort of get yourself within Virian's eye line. As soon as he sees you, he sort of smiles a little bit.
I just beam at him. My little tips of my ears go a little bit red. And I make a motion like, can you get away or are you stuck?
He sort of looks up at his mum. Mum's sort of still just firmly fixated on the guests who are coming over and offering their blessings to the new grandchild.
Do I see this at all?
Yeah.
I transformed to look exactly like Virian and try to sneak in behind Virian.
All right.
If I can.
Oh, you're my wingman!
All right. All right. So as you do this, I will give you the option. You may either make a stealth check or a deception check, depending on which one you would like to try. The stealth check involves you moving around behind where he's currently seated and swapping places. The deception check is about you being more abrupt, walking forward while Virian escapes.
No, I'm definitely gonna go with a stealth for sure. Trying to like tap on the shoulder, be like just going. So here we go.
Stealth check. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
with a 17. All right. Now with a 17 in tow, you manage to sneak around behind the cart where you can kind of see. As you walk around the cart for the first bit, you actually see that elf that gave you the fizzy drink. He seems to be hiding behind the cart. As he looks at you and you look at him, he thinks you're Virian, and he's like, "Oh, hi Virian. Listen, I might be in a bit of trouble with Cyanel. If you see him, tell him that I've left
it's
him."
Right. I've talked to him.
Yeah.
He's not really as angry. Just avoid him for a couple of days.
Okay.
But you should probably
What
go
an
down.
asshole! I mean,
know,
oh my
right?
god!
Over his head. He's coming though. You need to.
I didn't even tell him to drink it all. He did. And then,
He's coming. You need to go back that alleyway. You need to go.
That alleyway. He sort of ducks down and he runs.
Just go. You got this. 2 days. Just wait for 2 days. What an imbecile.
All right, you've sent the wizard with no powers into the wilderness for 2 days.
Oh god.
All right. So
Green, settle down. This is not your game.
all right. So you make your way around to the side and end up swapping places with Virian, now standing adjacent to the matronly mother at the front. Virian manages to slip away. He sees Valoria and gestures to head over towards the blacksmith, moving around the crowd to avoid the line of sight.
Okay. I'll dart over that way.
As you both make your way there, you can kind of see the twilight from the lantern seems to be creating this very beautiful pink and orange, almost like an autumn autumn lighting right at the second. He looks at you and he says, enjoying the festival?
I kind of like grab his hands like, I can't believe you snuck away from your mother. She's going to be so mad if you find out.
Yeah, I know. I feel really bad, though. As bad as I have it, my brother he's not used to these sorts of things, you know? In fact, none of us are. As much as Mother would like us to believe that we would be. We were bred for greater duties and all that, and, you know, I mean, yeah.
Well, maybe she was, but you and your father take more to the forest than she does.
He smiles softly as he remembers his father, a very strong and very confident person, something Virion in many ways wishes he was like. Part of the reason why you would both know that he became an adventurer was because of the inspirational lead that his father had set. But thankfully for him, his brother being older took the attention of his mother for the most part. And you know that kind of relationship. The three of you have grown up together. You know about the brother and about the circumstances that they've grown up in.
I knew him because my mom worked in the court, so like I got to know him a little bit too.
Yeah.
Not by much, but
Virion sort of smiles at you as he looks around. He starts basically scratching his head and going, "I wonder where Salvador got to."
He was trying to get to the boar earlier. I kind of tackled him to the ground and then made his dog lick his face, and then we ran into gnomes. Actually, they're really funny little people. Do they actually die if you take their hats?
Oh, his eyes sort of widen for a moment as he realizes you're talking about red caps, and he's like, yes.
Oh, okay, good, because I almost stole one of their hats.
He sort of smiles, like he's now beaming, like, just, you are one of a kind, aren't you?
Well, I should hope so.
You remain kind of, sort of pleasantly happy and quiet in this moment. All of a sudden, there is a commotion that seems to come from the procession of fairies. A small wind is picked up, and it sort of rattles the lanterns. It rattles some of the stalls, and a very tiny little fairy appears. This like tiny green sprite with almost like bird-like wings that are translucent and made of wings. She seems to appear and say, "Sorry, everyone. We've just received word. The borders, they're in danger. The Oliphants from the wastelands, they're rampaging, stampeding towards the forests." Oh, at this point, there's kind of muttering and whispering as people sort of say, "The Oliphants, they'll destroy a good portion of the forest."
Why would they start rampaging? I thought they were relatively peaceful, quiet animals.
Virion sort of turns to you and says, They are. They normally don't come down this far. No matter, will." At this point, the mother sort of stands up and holding up Sionel by her side, she says, "Fear not, citizens. I will be sending my son and a small contingent of guards to go and deviate the Oliphant from their onslaught. Rest assured, and please continue to enjoy the festivities. There is nothing to be alarmed at. My son is capable, handsome, and strong, and he will ensure that we are protected as the forest of our honored guests."
She's really trying to sell you to throw in handsome.
I just kind of like look over to Mother, just bow, just.
She sort of turns to you. She sort of looks down her nose at you. If she was looking down any further, she would be raising her head backwards. As she does so, she then says, "Prepare their horses." And you can see like they've sort of started to assemble stuff. You've basically been led towards where the group is arming up, sheathing their elven swords, getting their bows ready. You have a blade thrust into your hands.
Right.
By
It's
the
like,
way,
DM, how much longer does my... Because it lasts for an hour, that alter self? How much more time do I have?
you've probably got another 45 minutes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's only been like...
You just transfer him all of a sudden, like, where is Styrian?
Okay.
I would look to Virium like, where's Dervish? You don't have him, do you? And for
No.
anyone who doesn't know, Dervish is his falcon companion, like his falcon.
Dervish is nearby, but I
You
should
wanna
probably
take-
go. I
You
don't
should
fancy...
take Sayanel's place. Do you want me to go set him loose and he'll come to you?
Yes, please, if you would.
Where is he?
He's currently with my dear.
Oh, okay. The
uh,
dog.
Yes.
Okay.
They should be together.
I can go try to find I should go find him. You should take Sayanel's place before he blows our cover.
Yes, although admittedly,
Is it-
just between us, I wouldn't exactly hate to see how he'd fare against a whole herd of elephants.
Don't say that. You know he would die.
No, of course he wouldn't. I'm sure he'd scold them to death.
Which flash to, I'm gonna die.
All right.
So before he takes off, I would give him a quick peck on the cheek and just like, be careful, okay?
She turns and he sort of gently sort of rubs his hand and moves some hair over your ear so that, it's not sort of covering your face as much. And he says, stay safe, my songbird. I'll be back shortly.
Okay, I'll see you soon. Just be careful.
He softly smiles and you linger for a moment before someone's yelling out, Virian, that's not where you put your coat. You remember? It's attached here by the buckle. What's wrong with you? And he goes, I have to go. And he
Yeah,
I'll kind of like
me a
for
moment.
a second and then trail after to meet up with Sayanel. So just like, and then like kind of wander over to get Sayanel.
Okay, so as Sayanel reunites with Feloria, we are going to take a very quick break so that our players can have a bit of a drink, have a bit of a rest. We're going to have answer questions from our beloved audience. So we're going to have a 10-minute break right now. So we will come back and we will find out what exactly happens to Feloria and what happens to Virian and what happens to poor Sayanel.
It's just another day
when we return. So stick around.
Alive.
Yeah, so stick around for the Q&A, and we'll be back shortly. All right, go team. Is anyone breaking? No,
No, I'll run the restroom in a minute. I just have to say, like, I absolutely love how I'm just like, no, he'll be fine. I'm going to die. The whole chance.
Just no faith whatsoever in his own.
Just like they say, look at the swords. Like, come on, get him, Virian. Chucks in, just runs away with magic. Just no.
No.
Not today.
Okay.
Bad day. All right, I'll be back.
Okay, if you guys have questions, leave them in the chat now. We will get to them momentarily. Let's see. Poor Red.
Oh my God, there's so many chats in Twitch right now. I have no idea how YouTube's going, but like, holy, there's a lot of people. Hi guys.
Hi everyone. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope that I don't disappoint you because I'm not Guy. I mean, if you don't know when you did join us part way, the reason that I am here, the reason that I am engaging you fine, awesome, amazing gamers, is because our poor Master Guy is unwell and sick and is unable to perform tonight. So I will be in his place. And I hope I haven't been letting people down. I mean, I have
to say, like, giant kudos and thanks to you. Like, you came up with this in less than 12 hours?
Yeah, less than 12 hours. Yeah, Guy. Yeah, because
and for didn't you go to bed right after too?
Something like that. Yeah, like basically, I got a message yesterday, just before I was heading into work, like from Guy that he was unwell. But and I was like, okay, cool, I can come up with something. That's what I do. It's my jam, right? So I came up with this whole thing, and then I was like, hang on, I don't know anything about Feloria's world. I don't know anything about like her upbringing. So I was quickly flicking her messages, and thankfully I managed to get in touch with Kai.
You were smart and did it through Facebook, because I would not have seen it till I was about an hour before this.
Yeah.
I'm never on Discord. So I got a message And, like, I'm on the opposite side of the planet from him. He lives in Australia, and I'm in Canada. So I was, like, just waking up. I'm like, what? Oh, God. And so I ran in, like, onto Discord to, like, tell him, because I'm a slow typer. And I'm, like, in pajamas. My hair is disarrayed. I have, like, makeup on still from yesterday. I was like, oh, hi.
Yeah, no, but it was good, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I definitely have some very interesting things to cover in the after show, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
So let me see. Okay, just reading through this. Let's see.
But, like, big thanks to you, and good job. You're doing great. I love it. I've never had you as a DM. You're good.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Great GM. Michael did not tell me about the dog. Lol, no dog token. Yeah, that was a last minute thing, and you can blame my partner for that, Suze, because I was telling her about the story. I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And originally I had a different creature playing the role of the dog. And then she informed me that I can't do that because of reasons. And I was sad about that. So it became a dog very last minute, and I forgot to tell Guy, and that was my bad. Sorry, Guy. Let's see. From this point, let's see where are we at.
Were there any, like, pressing questions from YouTube or anything? Because Guy would have known the questions. He might have been answering them as we were talking too.
Maybe. I haven't checked YouTube yet. I'm just going through the Twitch stuff. Gluttony was perfect for the pie eating contest. That's right. You should have waited for the pie eating contest, but he ran off straight into it, and damn.
Oh man.
That was actually pretty funny though. I love that Freddy kind of like took that by the horns and just like literally and figuratively and just rum. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Well, I heard the name after he drank it, and then went, oh
no. Let's see. Drinking beer and install Linux. They're here to, and you can't install Linux, so they're here to drink beer.
Guy says that to mention the maps are currently made in Dungeon Fog.
Yes.
So, anybody who's looking to make maps and things like that, you can do so through Dungeon Fog. I believe is what he's telling me in his little chat bubble.
Oh, that's right. We have a chat bubble. There's my chat bubble. Chat bubble. There we go. Yes, Dungeon Fog is in fact one of our sponsors, an amazing sponsor. And again, if it's as impressive that I'm able to write a campaign in that short amount of time, I would like to point out it is equally as impressive that Guy, in all of his sickness, can produce these amazing maps, which will show up on screen in a second, because Guy will do that. And you can actually make maps of your own, just like this, just as easy in your campaigns. There we go. And it is truly beautiful. Like some of the stuff that you can actually do, like all the assets are absolutely incredible. The art is fantastic, and I highly recommend, even if you just try it out and give it a go, having maps like this really does enhance your games, especially if you, like me, play a lot of online games as well. So yeah, up your game and try these out.
Another one of our great sponsors actually is World Anvil. So Guy uploads a lot of the information for everybody and for our viewers. World Anvil. Oh my God, this is like the horns dying. So World Anvil is one of our sponsors. We're currently putting a lot of our information up for if anybody's looking for stuff in between the shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, big shout out to our mod Eric, because he's just posting everything up there for everyone. He's so positive.
Yeah.
Hi, Eric.
He's gonna be level 10 by the time this season is over.
Eric, he, him, one. We love Eric. We do. He's here every show. He's so positive.
And I'd also like to point out, if you would like to meet Eric, I have my Twitch show that is on Mondays at 9 a.m. GMT plus 8, and Eric is a player as of.
Is he really? I didn't know that. Oh my God, Eric!
That is. Yeah, so if you want to see Eric live and in charge, then Monday. So you've got your own celebrity following, Eric. I mean,
question: is it Monday in your time?
Monday my time, so it'll be Sunday. It'll be Sunday evening. It'll be Sunday evening for our folks in the US.
What day and time is it for you right now?
Yeah,
it is currently 10:25 a.m. On Tuesday.
Okay, because it's 10:25. We're exactly 12 hours apart right now. It's 10:25 p.m. where I am.
Indeed.
So what would the time be again then? Because I might be
Okay,
able
so
to
the time would be whatever time it is
Time is
right
hard,
this second for the live
especially with
people.
Stalin saving
An
time.
hour and a half before now, and then like yesterday. Ben.
Damn it. Okay, yeah, no. I'd
Okay.
probably catch like the tail end of it because I'd be out of work around
All
that
right.
time.
Is there we'll also be uploading it to YouTube. It'll be a whole bunch of things as well.
Oh,
all right. So
and we
real
love
quick
when people comment on them. Someone commented the other day, and it made me so happy on YouTube.
Oh, what was the comment?
Oh, they were just being really sweet and nice. But I don't know who they are, but it made me so happy. So if you guys comment on YouTube, thanks, guys.
Don't look at mine. There was a bit of a war.
Also,
some people love and some people hate Warren. I'm looking forward to watching his development. I think it's great to go from a character and watch them grow, especially as a teen.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to hit puberty so bad, season 2. Like, I want it hard.
I want to see that too. All right. A big shout out to Adrian. Yes, hashtag Team Flint. Flint in charge. Anyone
Remember that hashtag team? How do I get one of those?
I know,
well,
we don't have either of it. It's so far been Team Flint.
Yes.
Warren, do you want to be my first team, Florian? I'll be
hashtag each other.
Warren.
Oh, sorry, I already got my teammate. It's Delu.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see. Happy work in progress stuff. Adventure. Yeah, that's the word. Kill them. Yep. Okay, I like that. Thank you, Lord Dakar. Absolutely. I am. This
adventure's too happy. Murder everybody.
Yeah, I know. This is the most impromptu I've ever actually been in games. So I mean, I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you guys are. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time.
I love CNL. I love how he's playing CNL. It's awesome.
I had really no plans, like no idea, because this is all last minute, and a lot of it was my fault. Sorry again, Michael, for like all the last minute bull crap.
We weren't sure if Freddy was going to make it. Originally, it was going to be a one-off just between Freddy running all the NPCs and characters, and just me. I'm very glad you're here because it's very hard to hold a one-sided conversation with a lot of people.
Oh,
we also have another hashtag has just cropped up. William Mash Taylor just says hashtag 50 Shades of Volstoy.
Yes!
that's a lot better than 50 Shades of Grey. Or Elves. I like that a lot more. 50 Shades of Volstoy. That is the best.
Solid.
I've already started trying to figure out how I can get out of the situation without making it worse. And every time I do, it just gets worse. So I'm like, okay, should I start with next mention of what I'm trying to do? So it's like, this is how I'm going to get this done. It'll sound weird, but this is why I'm doing it. Or do I just say, okay, I'm doing this, and this is why?
All right. So I'm going to be back in just a second because we've got 2 minutes. I shall return.
I was also just checking 2
minutes. I'll be back, Guy. I promise.
You're giving your
By
son
the
a
way,
back.
also, if you have questions for Guy, then he's in chat as well. If you haven't noticed.
That's right. He is.
Warren, or Freddie, you could totally voice Guy because you're a good voice actor. Do Guy's voice.
I don't know. Let's see. What was it? I'm trying to remember because it's from South Africa, but it's English, but it's also Australian.
British South African.
Hello and welcome. This is another episode of How to Be a Great GM. Now, today I'd love to tell you how much of a jerk Freddie Himes is. He comes into my games and kind of stomps on a lot of my ideas. And that's okay, but I will kill his character when I want to.
Do you remember 2 weeks ago where we spent half the adventure going okay, this is what we're going to do. We're planning it. And you're like, I'll be right back. And you destroyed all of it. Within 2 minutes, it all went to shit. An hour of planning. And it's just no. Oh my god.
Oh man. The only way I've been able to kind of practice a little bit of Guy's voice this time was it was the game before I met Michael, because Michael, you came in at the tail end of another game. What's this line for Freddie?
There's a request coming for fans for you to do Guy's voice in certain phrases.
What kind of phrase?
Adriana, I think it's pronounced. Thank you for the bits. I appreciate your bidding.
Oh, thank you so much. You are H champion. You are awesome.
Okay, hang on. Wait, Michael, wait. Do you see the quote, Freddie?
Yeah, I need to like, because for all my voices I have like a trigger word, really. So hang on. A bit of
Ew.
it's British, but not.
You're gonna
Hello
teach
and
me how to do
welcome
it.
to this episode of How to Be a Great GM. Today we are talking about players impersonating their GM and how much of a dick they can be. Now,
He's really good up until that.
there are plot points that I'd like to put out here on my screen. Dick number 1, stop it. Dick number 2, stop. Dick number 3, that's enough. And all right, that's enough. That we got to get going.
All right, yeah.
Oh man.
By the way,
Adrian. Sorry, Adrian.
Adrian. Sorry.
Ditties, rain them, ditties on me.
Hello. I need to practice.
I'll give you the score after the show. Oh, people are rating you over on YouTube. They're gonna give you the final score at the end.
Oh, there's a final score at the end. Okay, so we'll get a tally for it. Okay.
I know I can do better. I just need to I actually need to practice this if that is a thing.
I love how serious he gets over
it?
the impersonation. Like he's like, what can I do to improve?
Because he's a voice actor. He's gonna show he can do the Crown voice, which is like crazy.
Okay.
I didn't even know that was Crom. Whoops. He's saying here we go. I'm gonna shut up.
All right, let's go. Let's start this.
Stand
All
by.
right. Flipping through it. G'day guys and welcome to the Broken World Chronicles. My name is Guy. No, it's still me. Hello, hi there. My name's Michael and you might know me as Flint in the Broken World Chronicles or as the Dead Aussie Gamer. Sadly, our master Guy is unwell and unable to join us for today's awesome and riveting episode. So we are engaging in a side plot, a side quest, taking a look at Feloria's backstory, where she came from, some of the relationship that she's built over time, and of course what eventually shapes her to be the wonderful and awesome elven bard that she is today. With us, of course, is Freddie, who is playing the role of Cyanel, a rather stern wizard accomplice to Feloria, and two of them have been going on some quite interesting adventures so far. This has been a very interesting day. Now, to bring everyone up to speed, we find our characters engaged in the Festival of New Life, a springtime festival where the fairy court, accompanied by the druid of the forest, arrive in the elven town of Lotharan, where the group is from, and celebrate the firstborn child. This, of course, being a young child born to Virian's family. Virian, of course, being Feloria's ingenue or love interest, in some manner of speaking. However, all is not well. Despite enjoying the festivities, getting into a bit of a drunken brawl with some small redcaps, a message of great urgency has recently arrived. A wind spirit has informed the elves that Oliphants, giant, multi-tusked, immense herd-like creatures, charging towards the forest, presenting a very near danger. It is up to Virian and the others to try and reroute the Oliphants, hopefully guiding them away from the forest, leaving, of course, the festivities to those more suited to such highbrow events. The matron mother, a woman by the name of Yolandia, looks over at her son, wishing her well on his journey. He looks over at Feloria and Cyanel, and he sort of nods his head, meaning he will be back shortly, as he rides into the distance with his small contingent of warriors heading to the north.
There
All
are
right.
such large beasts. Do you think he'll be okay with just that few many people?
Yep.
Are you saying that because you don't want to go out there?
Yes.
We're not.
I don't want to die. And think about it. Virian he's a very strong warrior. He'll be able to take care of himself. Besides, we're not warriors. Well, maybe you are. I'm just kind of a dabbler. I do experiments. That's my jam. So
My
to
ears
speak.
go pink when you mention that he's strong.
See, that's like a beaker. That's how I know I nailed it. It's like you're like a truth detector with your ears.
Well, how am I supposed to be a good liar later? Isn't like diplomacy in the courts all about lying and fooling people? If my ears turn pink, how am I going to do that?
Carefully.
Still
Yes,
nothing.
lying can be rather difficult, can't it?
It can. Who said that?
As you turn around, you didn't really realize this, but right next to you, adjacent, happens to be a rather tall elven figure wearing a wooden mask shaped like a wild boar and robes that are covered in scintillating colored feathers. You know this to be the great sage, the sage of the Great Oak. He seems
My
to be
lord.
sitting. He seems to be standing next to you, and he seems to hold what appears to be a small bowl of soup, which he sort of ladles towards his mask. And as the wooden spoon touches the mask, the soup seems to miraculously disappear.
My lord.
Please. No need for such titles. Call me
Oh,
Del
thank
Rosa.
God.
Yes. Fine festivities. The matron is very proud.
She is a very proud and hard-working woman, my lord.
I'm sure she's not the only one who works hard. I'm sure that even these, he sort of looks up and points at the lantern, took a fair amount of work. You know, magic exists, not just in nature, but the world itself. Is magic the tools that we use to manipulate the world, or is it simply understanding that such simple things as creating paper or turning them into these beautiful glowing displays, isn't that in its way a type of magic?
I think so. I think it's beautiful.
It can be. But if not done correctly, it could be horrible and disgusting as well. But I like the intricacies and excitement with the unknown, so to speak.
Ah, yes, it's been a while since the unknown have been known to me. The duties of the great sage have many responsibilities, and it's times like this where I can turn my gaze away, that I can truly appreciate what really lies around me.
Not to overstep my bounds, my lord, but if the elephants are traveling so far south and posing a threat, wouldn't you be one of the best people to deal with them? You are druid magic, and don't you speak with a lot of the animals?
It is, in fact, my duty, and were this any other time, it would fall upon me to take this responsibility, bearing it, and stopping the stampeding elephants or oliphants. But more importantly, the words of the Fey Queen are far stronger than those of my duties, and I need to be here for the blessing, which should not be long now.
Are you here to protect the queen, or just like a guide of sorts?
I'm a representative, as you would say. The Queen herself can't be here, but she enjoys the festivities in her own way, I suppose.
From home?
He sort of gestures to you with a bowl of soup, Sinel.
What?
Would you like some?
Oh! No, thank you. I have to keep this figure slim and me trying to be fast when I run away from most things. You understand.
It appears to be pumpkin, but there's something else. Hard to place your finger on. Knowing everything is such a burden. Delightful. Absolutely delightful. Not knowing what is in a simple soup.
Are you saying you're stripped of your abilities here? If you used to know everything, you could taste everything, but now you can't figure it out?
Yes, it's very well observed. Sorry, I don't know your name.
Floria, my lord.
It's another one. That's another one. Yes. Well, it is.
You mean you normally would know who I am?
Of course. The druid of the great sage of the oak has always been blessed with the knowledge of the forest. Those who live in it, those who traverse in it, but it's like a memory. You don't really think of it until you focus on it. So while
Does that mean you're vulnerable?
well, I am an elf, if that's what you are asking. Just a lowborn elf, actually. As he sort of continues to stir his soup.
How were
I
you
just
chosen?
He looks around and you can kind of see at this point the reason he's talking to you, particularly in amongst all these people, is you can see that the major predominant part of the crowd appear to be highborn elves. The highborn elves seem to be kind of in their little cliques and in their little groups. They seem to be tittering over the current affairs and, oh, she looks radiant today, doesn't she? I can't tell that she was pregnant not but a few hours ago. And you can kind of see that they're kind of bickering and talking. It's like, can you believe it? A druid? Lowborn? How dare she? So on and so forth. So you can see the reason he's over here is because he can see the two of you are you are way more approachable than the rest of the elves in the crowd.
That's a first.
I look a little crestfallen, like, even with all the knowledge and power of the Great Oak, they still are disrespectful to you.
Well, I grew up in an elven village not too far from here, so I'm not unfamiliar with the ways of the elves.
But you think they'd have a little more respect, or they would have changed their mind when you showed your worth.
There are many types of people. There are the people of the wind, the people of the sea. Elves are people of the land, people of the trees. Even the title of the sage of the great oak comes from an elven term. To be unbending, to grow with the land slow and sure, to know exactly where it is that you will be in 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. Changing the minds of elves is like trying to change the way a tree grows. Not something that can be done swiftly, but over time. He looks and smiles at Cyanel specifically, and with the right attitude, being nurtured, like a acorn seed.
I think I'd be more like a sickly willow tree.
Willows are my favorites. They're beautiful.
No, you first.
Oh, he takes another.
Okay. But in any case, know this, great one. I scold all equally. So in any case, if you ever worry about any person over there of nobility and of pig-headedness, it doesn't matter what they think. I've picked this up on my travels. It matters what you think. What you think of yourself is what makes you great, humble, or weak. It's all dependent on you. So stay strong.
He arches and turns to face you. Again, the mask sort of doesn't really shift, but you kind of get this warmth about him. Like he really has taken a bit of a shine to you in particular. All right. As this proceeds on, he sort of excuses himself, making his way towards another cart that you can see off in the distance, which appears to have this strange, bizarre confectionery that they call poppered candy. And
actually, I have to go set Dervish free. Virion doesn't have Dervish with him. It's his falcon, and it helps him with his travels.
Oh.
He said it was back with Muriel, so we need to set him loose.
Do I have to come with you?
Not if you don't want to.
Oh, cool. Good luck. I'm gonna go find some tomes.
As you make your way around the stalls looking for magic books, eventually, Philoria, you can see signs of where my idea was placed. You can see like there's a small little dog bed that was put up next to what appears to be a small crate that has a small like nest placed on it.
Okay, so I'll head over that way.
Sleeping in the nest, you can see a large pedigree falcon, a large, beautifully plumed bird that is probably only maybe about a year old, maybe a year and a half. So very young, very kind of little compared to, say, the larger, full-grown falcons. As you approach, its neck sort of twists up from underneath its wing, and it perks up to see you, twisting its head on the side.
Is that
so that
Dervish?
It is indeed Dervish.
I've seen Dervish before, so I'm like, hey, Ray. Hi, boy. So I would grab one of the normally with falcons to calm them before you set them loose, you put like a hood on. So I put the hood on, tie it, and I put on the gloves because their claws are very sharp. So I would make sure that my hand is gloved. And then I would make to scoop him up and walk him out a ways into the woods, and then I would unhood him and set him free to Varian.
Okay. As you do so, you sort of unclasp the small chain that is on his foot and place it on your arm before making your way towards the edge and releasing. As he takes to the sky, he flies into the night, and you lose sight of him so quick. You remember when he was but a hatchling when Virion first got him, and now he's accompanying Virion on missions. This is probably maybe his 4th or 5th mission now, so you can see he's full of excitement, knowing that he's helping and knowing that he offers a good support for your ingenue. Sinel, you eventually come to what appears to be a small desk that has a wizard standing by it. This elven wizard you know to be one of your lecturers at the Elven Spire. His name is Festilia. And Festilia is, he is not a fan of you, mostly because he kind of sees you as lesser, like he's kind of more of a sorcery teacher than a wizard teacher. But he does teach lessons in the art of magic.
Festilia?
Oh, it's you. I suppose you're enjoying wasting your time at the facility? Strange. I thought someone like you would be doing homework, trying to keep up with the other talented students.
Of course I do. It's because I'm a little more maybe responsible or diligent than most students. I am here to pick up more material to actually continue my research.
He stops, placing his arms over his hips. He reaches towards you with a bony finger and wipes what appears to be like a big sticky glob of pie from your lips. Yes, I'm sure you are. He says, "Here, some reading material," and he hands you what appears to be a large book. The large book appears to be on the art of transmutation, specifically focusing on the ability to convert water to wine. He also says, "Oh, yes, and I can't have one of our students looking like you." He sort of gestures at you, and with a small glitter of magic, the pie from your shirt and your cheeks just completely, the stains are now completely gone.
Could have done that myself.
Yes,
I do
I'm
hate
sure
how
you would have found some way to botch it up. Well, study hard, I suppose. That's all you've got left for you, isn't it?
I certainly do, wise one. Do you have any tomes based on more like on protection against other, possibly more hostile casters?
Well, for your particular level of skill, I might have a thing lying around. He sort of looks around, and you can see he pulls up what appears to be the wizard equivalent of picture books. They're like maybe about that thin, and they've got like very big, bright colors on it. and you can tell that it's one of those things that they give kids to like trace runes. Like it's like a coloring book.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell Freddy's loving this.
Oh, absolutely.
As he flicks through a couple of these books, he eventually picks one out. He picks out what appears to be a mage armor spell, and he picks up another one which has magic missile on it.
Actually, I will take the magic missile. What do I owe you?
Nothing. That was one of the hand-me-downs. One
Gracious,
of the mortalities. Yes. I'm sure that this 6-year-old that used that is no longer in need of it, so feel free to take as long as you want getting through that.
Well, children do occasionally have wisdom.
Yes, children do. Enjoy the festivities and your studies when you get around to it.
Yes, enjoy your evening, and be careful. I understand that weak bones can sometimes feel sore. Why not try some tea and settle down? Just walks away.
The teacher sort of goes back down. He sits down with a little bit kind of like scowling at his notion, and he pulls up a small cup of tea, and then just
called it.
Okay, as you basically do so, you can see Feloria nearby. She sort of is looking up dreamily at the night sky. It's not long before the moon will be in full swing. Feloria, as you are looking around here, you are approached by an elf. This is Bael Noanen.
The father of the
father.
newborn.
Yes, and Virian's elder brother. He sort of sees you. He sort of stops within your line of sight, and he bows graciously.
I bow back very reverently.
It's good to see you, Feloria.
And you as well. I'm surprised your mother let you get away from everyone.
Well, mother had to take care of other businesses. She's busy doting over Philathriel.
Thank God for small mercies.
Yes, indeed. and of course, mercy it is to be able to get out of that chair. I so do envy my brother, who was able to simply ride off into the sunset away from this kind of attention. It was never really my pace.
But into probably a bigger problem, the Oliphants are large, aren't they?
Oh, yes, but Virian is quite sure of himself. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. There's never been a case where I've seen Virian go off on a mission and never return with a big smile full of adventure and secrets and all manner of things he wishes to talk about.
Stories.
Probably the closest thing I have to knowing more of the world myself.
Why don't you just get up and go?
Well, with my new one, I have responsibilities now, and I hope that one day I will raise him to reach out and stretch for the horizon.
I hope he enjoys it.
Thank you. Listen, there was something I wanted to... As soon as he says this, Feloria, you hear barking coming from the woods. Cyanel, you also sort of hear this barking as you're approaching Feloria. A short distance away, you can see My Dear coming, like, sort of booking it through the forest. Now, My Dear is a blink dog, and every few steps he takes seem to be limping. And in order to kind of catch himself as he limps, he teleports a short distance closer. Once he gets to Feloria, he sort of lies down, and you can see that his arm, his like little paw, has been injured with a deep gash.
Was he with the others?
No, he was with Salvador.
Where did Salvador go? Did he go with the contingency that went with Varian?
No, indeed. Last you knew, Salvador was in the forest hunting boar.
Oh no, crap! I did this. Can you take? I look at Belle and I'll be like, "Can you take care of him for me?"
Oh, yes, of course. I will certainly do so. He sort of says, "Come on," and he sort of takes hold of him and picks him up.
All right.
The sort of the weary dog sort of licks him in the face.
Okay.
But surely I should go with you, or
No, it's fine. You should stay here with your family. I'm sure it's nothing. He probably just fell or something. You know how Salvador gets into trouble. I'll be right back. Is there an archery range or anywhere? Do I still have my bow from earlier?
You do indeed.
All right, I'm gonna start following where he came from and trying to. Viri needs to teach me how to track. And I'm sure there's like blood spatters to which way he came, and I'm gonna take off that way.
Absolutely. As you attempt to track the blink dog's blood trail, Silendor, what are you going to be doing?
Oh, you mean Sino?
Cyano?
Silendor! By your powers combined, I will get a name right.
I will turn to a bucket. Like the whole time I'm like walking, like my notes in the book, and and I'm also trying to try to replicate that the maneuvering of that magic missile spell. Like I'm trying to learn as fast as possible.
So you can cinch him tonight.
Do I see her walking by?
Well, despite what your teacher thinks, you are actually more than capable of reading and learning this spell in a single sitting.
Oh, cool. I'm just like, oh, well, that's just easy, and I'll just put it away. Do I see her walking by though?
Yes.
Gloria, why do you look agitated? Where are you going?
Salvador might be in trouble, and I'm headed off to go find him.
Isn't he always in trouble?
Bigger trouble than he's normally in. He might have actually gotten in over his head.
Okay, be safe.
Bye.
As she leaves into the forest,
I just sprinting too.
Please make me a survival check, Philoria.
Ooh, I did well. 18.
18. Yeah, you book it down the path. You can see that where my dear actually left the blood trail, even though he has been teleporting short distances, you kind of take that into account and say, okay, he teleported from there, and then you find another blood splatter and you continue forward and into the woods. While you're in the festival area, Silenel, you kind of look out as he Sionel, isn't that
almost like say oh, I'm saying the seance is Sionel or something like that.
Sionel.
Silendor.
Silendor. All right. So Sionel, as you look out and watch her disappear into the woods, you kind of get this kind of sinking feeling. You look around and you could see Baal Noanan, the elven brother of Virion, holding my dear the blink dog, who appears to be bleeding quite heavily from a paw. Taking a look at it, you've done your studies and things of that sort. Make me an intelligence roll as you kind of draw back on your studies.
There you go.
All right, what do we get?
22.
22. All right. You identify the wound, the nasty cat-like scratches that appear to be in its hind quarters, seem to be that of a displacer beast. A large, vicious, highly territorial, highly predatory type of creature whose hatred for blink dogs is only matched by the hatred of elves.
That's what I'm just like.
Bye.
I'm certain. I'm certain she'll do fine. No, I'm certain she'll. Damn it! I'm gonna cast. Where is it? I'm gonna cast expeditious fast retreat. Jeez,
run
really?
super quick now.
expeditious retreat. Oh my god, my word.
Expeditious retreat, right?
Thank you. Expeditious retreat. That's the one. I put on myself just like, All right.
Yeah, you tap your heels together 3 times and you go, go, Cyanel feet walkers. And you dart into the woods.
Like, I sulk the whole time, but, like, I'm, like, really fast sulking, just, like dragging my feet, like, little kid, like,
All right.
Does your body wiggle like that as you go?
Yeah, it does.
Everyone do the wiggle. This is the new dance move.
Everybody jiggle.
Just, everyone do the sign now.
It's a new
And you have to, like,
move.
yeah. And then everyone has to groan at the same time.
That's exactly right. Turbo sulking. That is the new phrase for it.
Turbo sulking.
Okay. Okay, I gotta get
I'm
over
headed
this
to my
by
death.
myself.
This is great. This is fine.
Okay, the blood trail seems to lead into a large clearing. You look around. The place looks very familiar. It's actually where you were training not too long ago.
This is my favorite spot.
As you look around, you can make me a perception check.
Okay. 14?
14. Okay. The cold night air seems to send chills down your spine. There is still very little light here, but thankfully your elven eyes have adjusted so you can still see most of the surroundings around you. You hear a noise rustling from the south. It seems to be coming up behind you. The noise
Salvador?
closer and closer. And yes, Salvador emerges, panting out of breath as he bursts forth from the foliage.
Oh God, I saw your blink wolf. I thought you were hurt. Were you alright? He says nothing.
Salvador holds his hand against his chest. You notice that there is this huge open blood wound that sort of stretches over his chest. And he sort of smiles at you and he says, "Hey, Valoria. Hey, I don't feel too good. I think And he sort of tumbles over and falls to the ground.
Oh God, I run over and immediately start singing Healing Word as I move.
As you do, the wounds begin to slowly stitch up and heal.
So I'm gonna
Cyanel,
roll.
you catch up on this scene.
Plus my charisma modifier, so he heals 7 health.
Valoria, there's a displacer beast somewhere.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm just trying to keep him alive.
As you begin to sing and you watch as the wounds slowly begin to stitch up, Cyanel, you obviously hear the sounds of this noise, and before you can even say anything, realizing that the sound of elven singing draws the large displacer beast into view. Its huge lumbering mass, this massive Black Panther, who is not that close guy, bad guy.
It immediately is on top of me.
Right? Yeah. This large,
kitty.
this
There's gonna be like 3 more.
sleek, black furred panther-like creature with these 2 immense tendril-like arms stretching out over its back, leans forward, rustling from the bushes. Its piercing yellow eyes fixated on Valoria. It growls a low growl. Roll initiative as we get into battle.
16 after you add my dex.
Wait, is Guy doing it or are we doing it?
Guy's doing it.
Yep.
Oh, he rolls her. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Has he already rolled it? Oh, there we go.
He says auto roll done by. Okay.
Auto roll. Okay. Cyanel, you are up first.
I hate doing things. I'm going to pull out this bit of maple syrup that I snagged from the festival, and I'm just like dumping it in my hands. You stupid cat. And I cast slow on the beast. Just.
Okay. What do I need to do for cast slow? Is that
Just let him be slow, man.
Just let him be slow. Just tap him.
Just let it go.
So the creature needs to blah blah blah. It is blah, blah, blah. What is the?
For a second, you're saying it's addicted, and I was like, it's now addicted to me.
So it is a wisdom saving throw. got to fight a DC of 17.
Okay. 17. It gets a 3 on that.
So it is, let's see, so its speed is halved, has a -2 penalty to AC and dexterity saving throws, and it can't use reactions. It can either use an action or a bonus action, not both.
All right.
It can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn. And spells, cast time of an action, it takes longer and so forth and all that stuff. Yep.
Very well. So as Sionel waves his hands in the air with several glowing runes appearing in the sky, he chants the magic words for his spell, which collide with the creature in the bushes. As it does, you can see these kind of chain-mottled arcane runes appear over its arm and body, trying to restrain its movements as best it can. We then go to, unless there's anything else, a move action or anything?
As a quick, bonus action, be like, we can run.
Grab him then.
The Displacer beast pounces. It lunges, running 20 foot across the field and leaping over to Feloria. As it does so, it will lunge with a claw, scratching and clawing at her.
Yep. Just one attack, though.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. Just a single claw.
Holy hell! It rolled a 26?
Uh-oh.
What level is this thing?
Big. That's why I'm like,
I want to point out. What I'm looking at is a CR1.
Crit rating 1? They lied.
Yeah, that's just what it says here. All right. So what did it get? How much damage did it get? I can't see that.
15. I'm wounded.
15. Oh,
it halved me in one hit.
As this claw just tears through you, you can see, of course, the viciousness of it. What's even scarier is as it lunges for you, leaping into the air with its claw drawn, you think you dodge it. You duck to the side, avoiding its panther-like bladed hand, when all of a sudden, the whole beast, as big as it is, shifts to one side, becoming a second beast in just a split second, and the second claw hits and rakes down you directly. In addition, can you make me a strength saving throw as this hand hits you?
18.
Was that 15?
18.
18. Okay, you avoid being knocked prone by the blow as it reels you backwards. All right, we now go to Salvador. Salvador is still unconscious, and he's not longer bleeding out, but he's lying there very injured. Okay. Feloria.
Oh, God. So since it's, right beside me, I can't really shoot at it, I don't think. So I'm going to scream at it dissonant whispers and hope that it runs away.
Okay.
So dissonant whispers. I start singing, or I start whispering a horrible screeching sound. It must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, please make me a wisdom saving throw for it.
No, you have to.
No, I'm talking to Guy. I'm talking to Guy. Guy can hear us.
Guy, do it.
9. Okay.
It fails, so it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must use its reaction, if available, to move as far as it possibly can.
Because it is slow, it cannot use its reaction.
Oh, no!
That's what I was like, oh.
It
takes 13 damage, though, because I rolled 2 6s.
It does. It kind of does. As you cast your spell, and you whisper this soft voice in Elven, which then rises to a crescendo that sort of makes this high-pitched screech sound in its ear. You see it sort of scratch at its ears in pain, but you notice that both shadowy images of the two creatures both seem to do it simultaneously. It takes half damage from your attack.
Oh, God. Okay. So I'm going to use my bonus action to continue using healing word on Salvador to try to get him up and moving. And I'm just going to grab him. I'm probably going to have to go at half speed for my movement, but I'm going to try moving back towards the festival.
Okay. All right, you begin to move backwards slowly using your
dragging him.
dragging
and
him
singing as best I can. For healing, how much does he have to heal to be able to move again?
Your next thing will bring him back up.
Okay, I'm just trying to find my spell. It's a D4 plus my charisma. Oh, yeah. So he heals 5 more.
5 hit points. All right. At this point, his eyes sort of flutter open as he's like, "Oh, I had this horrible dream.
Run!
As he turns and he sees the displacer beast standing over him. Sayonel, it is your turn.
I feel like I'm the best of friends, and the best of friends make sure that they're well protected. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There we go. Just way
Mike.
back.
Eric says default displacer beast is actually a rating of 3, and it's a suitable encounter for 4 level 1 characters. We might die.
It's fine.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what I've done. Don't worry. I've actually got things that can happen here.
Yeah.
But I realized the CR1 one that I was looking at was actually a displacer panther, which I didn't know that was a thing. But there you go. Okay, no, that's fine.
So
that's
I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost after I moved back 30 feet. Also, my transmutation stone, because I cast slow, it's going to be for advantage on Constitution saving throws. But hopefully I hit.
All right.
So,
oh my gosh.
Let's see. So with Ray of Frost,
we did move out of his way, right? Because we're still right beside him in the forest.
Yes, you have moved 5 foot away.
Let's see. So intelligence +3. So because of
we haven't disengaged.
You haven't disengaged. Oh, Guy. Yes, thank you, Guy.
Yeah, because they don't need disengage just because there's no reactions because of the slow thingy. I'm trying to figure this out because sorry guys, like this is an NPC match thing here. So it's a +3, and then if I'm a 9th level caster, then that's going to be I think it's like a +6 or +7 to my spell attack stuff. Thank you, +6. So it is that level. Fantastic. Let's do it. 6. There we go. With that Ray of Frost, get him. Did it get him?
Let's see. That looks like it hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's now also slowed by another 10 feet.
All right. Yes. Now he's as frost then encases his body. You can see this beam of cold strike at the displacer beast. It sort of shakes its head, rattles from side to side as ice sort of tries to fall off it. It is definitely not pleased, and now it absolutely dislikes Sionel.
No one likes me. Go away.
All right, the displacer beast. The displacer beast is going to use a. Okay. It is going to reach out and attack Feloria again to try and get through her and towards Sionel. However, as this happens, you hear the sound of a whistling, like this really high-pitched. And you can see Salvador by your side seems to basically have placed his hands in his lips. And in an instant, the blink dog appears next to the two of you, growling at the displacer beast.
Oh, welcome back, boy.
His foot is now bandaged. I'm keeping Guy on his toes here. And the 3 of you are teleported 20 foot northeast, behind a tree. Yes. As the displacer beast raises its claw and scrapes the ground, dragging it right where you were again, it growls and snarls and looks back to where you now stand. Salvador sort of leans back on the tree. His injury still kind of quite severe. He reaches around his back for a bow, but doesn't seem to have one. The displacer beast stands confused and unsure of who to attack next. All right, we then go past the blink dog and Salvador.
Just make sure that displacer beast, because he gets to make another wisdom save against slow.
Does he? Okay, please.
Yes, at the end of its turn. I'd love it to be. Nope. Gotta be 17.
Still super slowed. Frozen, cold, and stuck in place. Yep, so the Blink Dog and Salvador have acted. We then go to Philoria. Salvador looks at you and says, look, I know you've only been practicing, but do you reckon you can have that? You reckon you can hit it?
Not to do enough damage, but maybe to give you some time to run with your Blink Dog, or till he can get us out of here again.
As you say that, the words that come out of your mouth, you kind of feel this presence, this like almost this light. You can feel a handprint on your shoulder. You felt it earlier this morning as well, and you think of Virion as you draw and notch your bow. You think of the words that he said to you when he taught you how to shoot.
So just breathe and steady yourself in the moment. All right. Oh, dear God, make this work. Where's my abilities? Nope, actions.
Just imagine it's a creature out in the wild, not the bullseye. You'll hit those, I know you will.
I rolled a 17.
17?
I don't know if that'll hit a displacer.
That will hit.
Oh, it does! It's a D8 plus 3 piercing. Boop. So 7 damage.
A solid blow hits its side as it leans backwards to cradle its injured shoulder. It hisses and snarls in your direction. It's not entirely sure who to attack. Sayanel, it is your turn.
I'm going to use my bonus action to keep healing what's-his-face. Salvador.
Okay.
I have, like, a few spells, so, like, I'm using them.
Okay, so I can't move any further because of the map, but, like, I want to make sure I'm at my 60-foot range so I can keep pegging him with my Ray of Frost as I'm kind of, like, chilling back and just like, now I'm super far. This is fantastic.
He heals for another 6, just so you know.
Let me see.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna hit him again with another Ray of Frost, or attempt to at least.
All right, another Ray of Frost fires from your hand. As it fires forth.
Yeah. Which I just want to let you know, because his AC is -2. Just keep that in mind. Ooh. Hey.
Okay.
Yay!
That is a hit.
Yes,
I can literally hear Guy's voice. That's a hit.
Oh,
yeah,
he's mentioning
that's a hit.
60 foot as
Do
a
the
range.
damage.
Yes.
Very nice.
All that cold damage.
Bam. Take that.
Yeah, perfect. I just want to. I'm just gonna stay like just chill there for a while for 60 feet.
Just dirt around it because it can't move.
Just.
Okay, the Displacer Beast. The Displacer Beast charges towards.
It can only move 10 feet.
You can only move 10 feet.
I know. I'm going to move towards. Well, given it can only move towards 10 feet, it's going to go for Philoria.
Oh, shit.
As it steps 10 foot forward, you watch as these tendrils from its back lean forward and lash out, lunging towards you and one towards Salazar. Oh, sorry, not Salazar. Salvador.
Can it make 2 attacks?
Salazar
Or can it only make 1?
Slytherin.
Oh, it's lashing out towards you. As to who it hits, I'm going to say odds is going to be you. Evens, it's going to be Salvador. Yeah.
Question. So Because a slow, it can only do one attack, even though if it has a
No.
multi.
Oh yeah, no. It's going to do one attack. I'm just
Okay.
determining who it's going to hit. I'm just saying it's going towards the two of them because they're in the same spot.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
haven't decided who I want to hit yet. I want to figure it out. Actually, Guy. I mean, I feel like Guy should have a contribution here. Guy,
Yeah,
who do
Guy,
you
roll
want me
for
to-
us.
who do you want me to- yeah. Roll for it. Let me know
Be
who
the
you.
meanie. Oh, he's doing it now. I just saw that. He's like, yes. He's like, going to hurt them so bad.
I don't know if you guys can see this in the audience, but Guy threw that super hard. So odds. So that is going to hit. What did I say for odds? I said Philoria for odds, didn't I?
I don't know. Who remembers? Probably me.
There we go. Oh, okay. So
It
as the
misses!
tendril lashes out and you manage to roll backwards, as you sort of crunch down and tumble back, you rise up to one knee, holding your arrow in hand. The GM says, "Damn." As
Guy. Deal with it.
Yeah, okay. As it does so, it snarls and howls again. The displacer beast gets another wisdom saving throw, I believe, to get rid of
at the end of
slow.
its turn. Yep. Ooh, nope.
14 doesn't do it. All right. The blink dog bites at the panther, trying to just sort of drag it from its legs downwards. It misses as it bites. The giant cat bats away the blink dog. The blink dog yelps with like this as it sort of knocked to the side.
No, blink us! I'm like poking the dog in the head, like, no.
All right, then we go to Salvador. Salvador stands up and steps in front of Philoria. He reaches down in his boot and draws a dagger and lunges with a melee weapon.
Oh, God.
With a 13, he manages to sink the blade into its shoulder and deal 7 points of damage as he says, "No, not today, beast!" Philoria.
So I'm going to start darting around the outskirts this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to yell at Salvador to get the hell out of its range since it's slowed, and then I'm going to fire.
Okay, you rush over to the side, and as you do, draw back on your bow, firing it as you make it to that position.
19.
Another solid hit as your arrow finds purchase again in the side flank of this creature.
Max damage.
Nice. 11 points of damage.
Nice. Take that. Yeah.
Sayonel.
This we could be pegging at this thing for a while. This thing's being annoying. Fireball.
But they're right there.
Yeah, I know. But I want to do on the opposite side, like, so where it's, in the radius of the big place.
I'm gonna be that GM.
What?
Roll me a perception check.
What? I can't see this?
From where you are, the tree seems to obstruct both the blink dog and Salvador. Should you fail your perception check, you do not know that they are there, and will center it on them, knowing that Philoria is safe.
All right, let me see.
Oh, please roll well.
Nah, it's fine.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, thank God.
Okay. Is that a perception check? That's a wisdom check.
Yeah, but I don't have perception on there.
Oh, okay,
a thing I click on.
Very
it's
well.
just
you through the powers of your deduction have realized that they are most likely right there.
I'm like, why didn't they? You're supposed to run. And so grab a bunch of because earlier you saw me doing a bunch of powdering and all that stuff. I take a bunch of powdered wood chips and coal and just spice up between my hands. I go faster and faster with friction. I go, ow, God, that hurts. And then send up a little spark, just pew.
As this tiny flaming seed hits the center mass,
and it has a -2 to those dexterity saves.
Yes, indeed.
11.
Fail.
That's a fail.
That's a fail.
All right,
How
deal your
many
damage.
dice is that?
I believe it's 8d6, right? Yeah.
Oh my
God!
Yeah. Please
Right.
drop this thing.
Okay, the fire burns, igniting, spiraling around. You can no longer see the displacer beast within the flames boil in a huge circle.
That's only 5d6.
I know, and then I gotta add these last 3. Hey, there you go.
32.
32. Once again, you can see within the flames the silhouette of these two shapes that seem to step side by side. And you deal half damage.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Ouch.
It's immune to everything.
He didn't succeed. Oh, all right.
Okay. All right. As you do so, we then move to the displacer beast. The displacer beast emerges from the flames. The tendrils on its back sort of wafting off the fires. It is still slowed quite crazily.
Guy says we only have 8 more minutes, Mike, so we have to pick it up.
I'll get there. All right, I'll milk this 8 minutes. Okay, so the displacer beast turns and is going to attack Salvador. Make your attack, please, as the beast turns and this time tries to land a vicious attack.
Yikes.
It strikes, dealing 6 points of damage. Salvador is pretty brutally injured at this point. Can I have another wisdom saving throw as the tendril slikes at him? That is a 4. Ugh, he is not
poor
unslowed.
guy.
I guess I've saved him.
I'm sorry, guy.
All right, I think we're up to the blink dog now. The blink dog also attacks, biting into the... it actually tries to jump onto the back of this creature and bite at it. But again, the beast sort of uses its tendril and pushes the blink dog away. Salvador turns with his blade once more and drives it upwards, trying to get under its chest and into its throat. It manages to hit, dealing 4 points of damage to the displacer beast. It now looks heavily wounded. Blood seems to be pouring from the creature as it now has labored breathing.
Oh, thank God! I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers again.
Okay. As you do so, it gets to make a saving throw. A wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it fails.
Oh, it fails.
So
All right.
3d6 and must use this reaction to run away. So 9 damage.
Which is halved. And
is it immune to force damage or psychic damage?
it has a thing. Okay, so avoidance. If the displacer beast is subject to an effect that allows it to make a saving throw, it only takes half damage. Instead of full damage when it succeeds. It takes no damage if it succeeds and half damage if it fails.
Okay.
So yeah.
Also, yeah, like Eric said, there's no reaction to the thing, so it's like.
Correct. Yes. There is no reaction. So while it would try to run, it actually does not.
Guy is so mad. The most useless anti-magic beast ever.
All right. Sayanel, we're up to you. The creature looks brutally wounded.
Actually, there was something I have to double check to make sure that I didn't cheat. Okay, good. So my expeditious retreat is gone because my concentration is slow right now. Okay. Nah.
Wait, did someone say no slow?
No. So slow is slow is concentration. So my expeditious retreat that I had earlier, I thought I still had it. It's gone because it's also concentration. No, just gonna do another ray of frost. Just get down, stupid cat.
Okay, and that's a hit. As the beam of frost flies through the air and strikes it once more.
Just.
And what do we get for that?
It was 10.
10, nice.
Magic.
Okay, the displacer beast. It.
Oh wait, hang on. For movement, I am gonna move right here. and just be like, "Hey, you! Yeah, you're slow, and I mean that mentally. Come at me, brethren."
The displacer is too injured, and food has become definitely a no-go thing here. It sort of howls and hisses before attempting a disengaging strike to push away. As it moves backwards and attempts to retreat into the woods.
Only another 10 feet.
Attack of opportunity?
Do you get one when you disengage?
Wait, oh, no, I didn't
That's
know
what's
if we could
confused about. Like, did he
disengage
do is the ability like an attack and disengage, or is it like? So right now it's uses full action to disengage. Okay, got it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a full action to disengage, so it can't attack.
Correct. Salvador yells out, "Quick, finish it! We can't let this thing return to the forest."
I mean, why?
We then go to Salvador, who will move up and make an attack, and the Blink Dog will as well. Salvador strikes and does not manage to hit the displacer beast. He's sort of still partially injured, and he leans heavily on his injured side. The Blink Dog, however, manages to bite the back ankle and sink its teeth in. Wow, landing a critical hit. 12 points of damage to the displacer beast, which lurches forward and sort of tripping up. Feloria, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to fire again.
I was like, I kind of wish I could just like this little dog.
23 to hit.
That'll hit.
Oh, yeah. So 8 damage.
8 damage. All right. 8 points of damage. It goes down as your arrow strikes it in the neck. It leans to the side and slumps over. Its labored breathing gets slower and slower before it finally perishes.
I leave the body.
I'll drop my slow spell. It's dying too slowly.
You gather around the body. Your Salvador is out of breath. The Blink Dog is still injured and sort of goes to the ground. And that is where we will end today's session. Feloria, you are left with a sense of accomplishment. This large, great, and phenomenal beast was indeed a first for you, like to kill something of this magnitude. Even with Salvador helping, he sort of says, if it wasn't for you, he surely would have died in the forest that day. And you remember this for many days to come. You return to the festival, and the festival goes off without a hitch. Everyone has a fantastic time, and the celebration goes unaired. Even Virion and his soldiers return triumphant, having dissuaded the Oliphants, and you have, for once, your own story to tell him.
Oh yes, because no one's going to remember the slow spell. He's bitter.
Yep, that's exactly it.
I
Slow
totally
spell?
give you credit
No
for credit.
one casted slow spells. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed this very special one-shot, which gave us a bit more of a look into Feloria and, of course, her dear friend.
What did the guy want to ask me, though? He said, I wanted to ask you something, and then I ran away.
That's a fantastic question. Maybe that's something we can explore in the Discord channel, which you guys can join us in if you want to chat about all things Broken World Chronicles. We will leave a link in the description.
What about all the people on YouTube?
And all the people in YouTube, you can also come join us on Discord. We'll leave a link in the YouTube description as well. Come say hi. We love meeting people. We love chatting with people. We're all great guys. And if you guys are sticking around, we will be doing the end of game breakdown as to what I expected and what actually happened. So stay tuned for that. For now, however, we shall bid a fond adieu to our awesome and very talented cast. Freddie, Kai, you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. I hope you had a great time. I hope you had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great. You did awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
One less flame hammer to go.
No, now it's just freeze ray.
All right, guys. Well, till next time, until next week, let us say farewell to these awesome people. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Very well.
No.
Okay.
Oh, we have to leave the
I should have.
Zoom?
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, you guys need to leave the Zoom. I live here. This is where I. Yeah, yeah.
I thought we were gonna
there's-
chat to all the viewers. Okay, bye.
All right. There they go. Hooray! All right. G'day, guys. How's it going? All right. Well, that was a very interesting game. So doing a breakdown, basically, we're going to have a look at what I planned and what happened. So my goal today was to really sort of explore Floria's emotional connection with her world and with Virion. That kind of worked reasonably well, I think, towards the end, especially now that we have a really good understanding of Feloria's like sort of caste system, and I think we got a lot of that from Freddy's gameplay today. His character definitely wanting to push against the grain. We got to see characters like Virion's mother and this very uptight wizard professor. These characters were just outrightly against the group and were just aggressive and abrasive. So I think I hope that actually came across well, and I hope that it came across well to my players as well. We were supposed to go into a lot more of Virion and their relationship. Honestly, I'm gonna cover this on two fronts. The first being is, of course, Feloria is what we call a legacy character. It's a character who was played in another game and was reprised for the role of the Broken World Chronicle. When we play games like that, when we have characters who we have brought in from other sessions and other things, it's kind of hard to determine exactly where that line is drawn between what have we already experienced, what have we already kind of gone through, and where will it go from here? If we're doing a flashback sequence, how much of that stuff needs to reflect what's happening in the legacy portion of the adventure? So it was very interesting to play Virion, but I was kind of at the same time not wanting to get too deep into it in case we ended up conflicting over a few things. So that was my goal there. Oh yes, and as Guy mentioned, if you do have any questions, throw them out there. I love answering these kinds of questions. If you guys want to know more about like what happened, what came up with, or of course some spoilers for what was supposed to happen in the background, yeah, throw them out there as well. I'll answer those. So I think with the love interest side of things with Virion and all of that, there wasn't much of it, at least not as much as I'd like to have gone over. But I think the important parts were there. The bit where they were in the forest and they were training, the bit where he snuck away for a few moments, even though it wasn't long. I think it kind of nailed home the idea of their kind of secret romance. Even the end where they were engaged in the battle and there was that moment where she was like, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Only to have Virion's sort of spirit and emotional support sort of come into play during the game. I think that went really well. And all in all, I think the romance was quite nice. And I was pretty happy with that. As for the exploring of the festival, we had a couple of things go perfectly to plan. The red caps were the first thing that sort of set up, and that went without a hitch. I wanted to do something that was just a brawl or fight. I loved Freddy's character because they were definitely on point with that whole thing. And yeah, they provoked it, but at the same time, like kind of overwhelmed him, especially with that natural 20 over the head. I was like, yeah, you know what? It's kind of like in that moment of cinema where you're like, you hit someone over the head with a bottle and they just pass out. And so I was happy with that too. Question. I am curious if you plan on doing a bit more of this particular story and exploring the love interest access if Guy gets the plague after Gen Con and needs assistance. Well, fun fact, I'm more than happy to help our Guy wherever I can. I mean, Guy's been really good to me and my channel, which, by the way, is the Dead Aussie Gamer stuff, which you can find on YouTube, Twitch, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, if Guy ever needs help, I'm always happy and more than willing to lend in some time to run a game, preferably with a lot more than 12 hours notice. But for what it was, I think it was a great game. We had a lot of fun, a lot of time that we spent, getting to know the characters, which was at the end of the day what we were trying to do. Linking questions in Zoom for me. Thank you. Okay, I will have a look at my Zoom link. Give me a second. Boom, there we go. I'm looking at Zoom chat. So any questions, throw it up and Guy will give it to me in Zoom. So, question, Michael, any other games where we can find you? Absolutely. I am a professional GM in Perth, Western Australia. So if you happen to be an Australian, I actually work out of the Coburn Youth Centre, and you can find me there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays where I run lots of games there. In addition, I actually do now have a Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/DeadAussieGamer. And I'm currently running 2 games at the moment, 2 campaigns. One is the Tyrant's Grasp, which is the latest Pathfinder role-playing game adventure path. And the second is Strange Aeons, which is kind of like the Pathfinder Lovecraftian sort of game. So that's what I'm running at the moment. I am going to be running a lot more stuff with that, and I'm going to be sort of really kind of focusing heavily on what people want me to play. There's also openings on those tables if you join me on my Patreon. Which that means you get to come and play and enjoy and have fun. And there's a lot of extra stuff that goes in that as well, including some personal acting coaching videos and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's really cool as well. Next question. Question, what is a challenge of playing with legacy characters? That is a great question. I love the idea of playing with legacy characters, but as a GM, obviously there is the writing stuff. As a player, the trick with legacy characters is that if you share the same story in a particular way, sometimes those ideas may conflict. And when they conflict, the person who's created the legacy character may take a bit of offense to it. It's kind of why I was avoiding, say, making Freddy a character that is rather well known in Kai's story, because at that point, if Freddy does something, Kai might not necessarily be receptive to what it is he's trying to play, and might have her idea of what that character would be. So I ended up making a whole bunch of new characters, brand new faces, so that Kai was playing in a more new and a vibrant setting rather than the old one as well. Apart from that, I think another challenge with legacy characters is staleness. If you yourself are playing a legacy character, you want to watch out for getting into the mindset of, this is my adventure. Because the adventure that you have shouldn't be the adventure you've already played. It should be the adventure that you're on. The most important thing about any kind of story, you can write 10, 20, 30 pages of backstory, but the adventure you are on with your GM should be the thing that's magical for you. It should be the thing that you want to be striving for and looking forward to every single time you play. While at the same time leaning on all the stuff you've polished with your legacy character. Now another question. You threw out a few plot hooks. The pixie and the pie, the druid with no knowledge, where you said there was no pickup. There was no pickup. I don't know what it means by no pickup. The plot hooks, the pixie and the pie. The pixie and the pie was more of a flick out, I guess. There was actually a plot hook tied to that because I didn't pick up on the hook. So the pixie was actually supposed to be the queen in disguise, the actual archfey, and there was this whole thing where they were supposed to once they do that, check to see if the pixie was okay, but then she kind of went and checked if CNL was okay, and I was kind of like, okay, cool, we'll roll with that, we'll go with this, and that'll be the focus. So I kind of put the pixie being the actual archfey queen on the shelf, and the old man was being the lowborn. I was kind of hoping Feloria might sink her teeth a little bit further into it and sort of ask for those inspirational words. In the end, I ended up giving them to her, but because he was on the back foot, that plot twist of him potentially wanting to offer her a chance to become the druid or the protector of the Glen was kind of overshot. But again, we had a small amount of time, and that's kind of what happens when we try to go through it all. Next one. What would you have done if things went south with the Displacer Beast as a flashback? Fantastic question. Quite simply, I would have said, well, lucky that was a Feloria from dimension 42346 instead of 42347. Otherwise, we might be in trouble. No, I joke. Actually, there was always going to be a plot twist that was going to be in case they don't kill the Displacer Beast, and that would have been in the Blink Dog. My idea was supposed to be established throughout little bits and pieces as a very friendly dog, a very happy dog, and a very protective one. Should things have gone south, the blink dog would have blinked the displacer beast away. This would have killed the blink dog, but at the same time would have saved and spared their lives. So it was a thing that I did have in mind, and I did make a clear point to say, okay, well, if things do go south, because there's only 2 of them, and if I'm being perfectly honest, my difficulty scale in Pathfinder is completely different to my difficulty scale in Dungeons and Dragons. So Dungeons and Dragons, I just kind of wanted to be a bit more fluid and prepare for the worst should that happen to have occurred. Question. Your descriptions are wonderfully rich and engaging. How do you prepare versus ad lib? Actually, great question. Fantastic. I will actually show you because, as I mentioned earlier on in the stream, I had the better part of. Let me calculate this. So, guy contacted me at 1, 2, 3. Then I go back to 7, 7, 8, 9. I had 5 hours to make this game. That was all I had. In that time, this was what I scribbled down, basically two little sheets. I don't know if you can kind of see that or not. If it'll adjust, nope, won't adjust. That's fine. Anyway, so these 2 little pages that I prepared for. After that, that was pretty much it. What I basically do when I prepare for a game, because I know Guy has a whole series of videos on preparing for a game, designing a campaign, and he does the Friday night Twitch stream. By the way, all of you guys should check all that stuff out. Like this stuff is really good for helping prep for games. My version of prep, I am what we call a chaos prepper. I just throw out ideas, and when I hear ideas, I write them down. I then select my choice ideas, the ones that I absolutely want to put into my game, and I then polish them a bit. So with the descriptions, like that starting scene, I actually did have that written down because once I had thrown it in, it was a case of just writing down, like, the sun is low, rising over the westbound winds on the first dawn of spring. Birds burst from the trees as a thock sound comes from the woods surrounding the small elven village of Lutharan. So that simple there, that is all I prepared. Apart from that, it's just about having a great vocabulary, learning a few extra words here and there, just when you're, in your prep time. Word-a-day calendars are also fantastic for that. All right, so if there are no further questions, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. I do hope that I did not disappoint. Do sign up, subscribe, and follow this Twitch channel, but also pop on over to mine and say hi as well. There are also the Discord channels and things like that where you can communicate with the cast and crew directly. And of course, you can contact Guy while he is unwell. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you again for joining. Like and subscribe, because all of your like and all of your love and all of your subscriptions channel lock directly into us, and we then throw it into the game against Guy. So all those likes, all those subscribes, every single one of you. And as always, guys, hopefully there will be a live show not only on Friday, but also on Carol Stones as well for Guy. And hopefully we will all be there to support him through thick and thin, because Guy is awesome, Guy is fantastic, and hopefully Guy will feel much, much better in the time to come. Thank you again, guys, for your love, for your support. And until next time, game hard or die trying. Bye, guys!